If you wish to trade, then this is a deal. Extortion is rather strange? Your servant is only fond of these pearls and is reluctant to part. Su Xing said, I will have to consult on this. The white-robed man furrowed his brow. Su Xing agreed. The white-robed man then allowed the maids to entertain Su Xing's group. He himself left first. Sikong Chuha and Sikong Dangyo looked at Su Xing. Sikong Dangyo said discontentedly, Are you actually going to compete with us? The Sikong sisters were twins, but their temperaments were completely opposite. The elder sister was of courteous temperament while the younger sister was shrewish some. Su Xing did not respond at all. Sikong Dangyo fumed. Don't think that 3 songs yellow dragon pearls can be traded for 50 water smoke jades. You can't do it. Whatever, if I can't trade then I'll leave them to you. Su Xing smiled. Since Shi Jingluan needed the 9 songs yellow dragon pearls, this opportunity definitely would not be missed. However, he had taken 5 from her last time. So as to avoid allowing Shi Jingluan to advance to 5 stars so quickly, he only took out 3. A moment later, the white-robed man walked out. He looked at Su Xing with an expression that was indefinitely hesitant. Shi Jingluan's 5-star destined weapon happened to require 9 songs yellow dragon pearls. These 3 were necessary, but 3 9 songs yellow dragon pearls for 50 Jiangnan water smoke jade really was a big loss. This pavilion is willing to use 30 Jiangnan water smoke jades to trade for fellows 3 9 songs yellow dragon pearls. We cannot go any higher. If this will not do, this store can only give up. The white-robed man wrinkled his brow, stating his bottom line. These 30 water smoke jades were something decided on by the hidden jade pavilion after much deliberation. Even if an earthly star was to upgrade to 5-star, they would need 32 pieces. Missing 2 could delay them a bit. This was within Su Xing's calculations. He originally did not have plans to exchange for 50. The reason why he said as much was not at all to depress prices. 1 9 songs yellow dragon pearl actually could be exchanged for 10 water smoke jades. Feigning a pained expression, Su Xing thought for a while. Then he traded for the 30 water smoke jades. This angered Sikong Dangyo to no end. This man, we will make you regret taking our things. After they left the hidden jade pavilion, Guaning said, 5-star destined weapon, you are still missing 2 liang. We'll just have to look again. Nyangzi has troubled dear husband. Nyangzi was silent. This is by rights. Su Xing warmly said. Then, they circled around the market and used one of the remaining 9 song yellow dragon pearls and 10 billion gold to trade for 2 pieces and other spirit sands. By doing so, Hunyangzi's 5-star golden wind morning dew double sabers were completely settled. Now, it was up to Hunyangzi to upgrade the star weapons. Are we going to upgrade the star weapon now? Guan Ying wrinkled her brow, as if she was a bit unhappy with this delay. We'll wait until we settle some troubles. Su Xing glanced behind him. The 2 girls looked over and noticed that the silhouettes of those twins had appeared behind them. Guan Ying was expressionless. Su Xing's party immediately departed Rising Dragon City. Their escape light flew several hundred li, then descended to a nearby remote island. How much longer will you tail us? Su Xing turned his head back, calmly asking. 2 escape lights of water and fire simultaneously arrived. They split left and right to surround Su Xing. The light receded, revealing 4 beautiful young girls. They were exactly the Sikong sisters and their star generals. Their star generals mounted 2 fantastic horses. One was transparent as water, and the other stood upon flames. We'll give you 1 chance. Hand the Jiangnan water smoke jade over. Sikong Dangyo shouted. A robbery like this isn't something a lady should do. Su Xing smiled and teased. Less babble. Sikong Dangyo was annoyed. If you're scared, just bring out the Jiangnan water smoke jade. Me and elder sister will let you go. Really? Su Xing glanced at Sikong Chuha. The latter appeared even more calm, her luminous eyes clearly concentrating, gazing at Su Xing. She softly said, Your distinguished self is a star master. We sisters merely wish to have a star duel with your distinguished self. Su Xing nodded. He could not be fussy with these words. Then star duel it is. Su Xing's wrist flipped, and the birth treasure outline appeared, but before the treasure outline had even opened, the four girls were shocked. Then, flying swords flew down. Menga! Ronxin. 2. The two women riding the divine steeds of ice and fire heard the Sikong sisters' words. Without saying anything, divine weapons appeared in their hands. One was an entirely translucent and sparkling body, a curling water dragon. The other was a curved moon saber, burning with fire, bright as red clouds. One glimmered with 4 stars, and the other flowed with 5 stars. Heaven tearing appeared to block the flying swords, and the birth treasure outline immediately flourished its golden light. Star position, unique star, 3, star name, Shan Tingui nickname, General of Sacred Water, 5, true name, Shan Menger, 6, rank, 44th star weapon, Flying Shower Falling Star Spear, 7, 4 star, Star Beast, Heavenly River Diving Steed, 8, realm, matchless second stage innate skill, Water Creation, 9, 5 elements, Water Yellow rank special move, Horse Stamping Flying Wave Approach, 10, Dark rank special move, Time Flows Like Water, 11, current status, Contractor, Sikong Chuha, 12, detailed materials, star position, Fierce Star, 13, star name, Wei Dingwa, 14 nickname, General of Holy Fire true name, Wei Ronxin, 16, rank, 45th star weapon, Phoenix Reincarnation Saber, 17, 5 star, Star Beast, Heavenly Flame Divine Steed, 18 realm, matchless first stage innate skill, Fire Creation, 19, 5 elements, Fire Yellow rank special move, Flame Slash, 20, Dark rank special move, Burning Heartbreak, 21, current status, Contractor, Sikong Dangyo, 22, detailed materials. As expected, these twin sisters calling themselves the Fire and Ice Sisters and Star Masters had a pair of famous fire and ice generals. However, he had originally thought that the Qingming Hichu he heard was called the Qingming Shanghe too. 23. It seemed only that Chuha was speaking of Dangyo's vicious taste. The true name of the General of Sacred Water was Shan Menga, and the General of Holy Fire was called Wei Ronxin. It was no wonder, for how could 2 star maidens without sisters be called a name like Qingming Hichu? The birth treasure outline. The 2 girls were astonished. They immediately quickly executed hand seals, and 2 ice and fire magic weapons smashed towards Su Xing from the front and back. Since this is the case, Su Xing had nothing to say. Heaven tearing became a golden rainbow that warded off the attacks. At the same time, Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder attacked the 2 girls as Purple Thunder wrapping heaven. At this time, General of Sacred Water Shan Menger raised the Flying Shower Falling Star Spear. A wave of water suddenly appeared. This was precisely Shan Meng using her innate skill to create the wave of water from nothing. Then she pointed her spear, and an ocean spray turned into a sword that shot towards him. Flaming Break. Horse Stamping Flying Wave Approach. This General of Sacred Water and the General of Holy Fire had considerably tacit understanding and coordination. Without any words, they used several star magics from the very beginning, 1 dark move, 1 yellow move, activating them bluntly. A flood that filled the sky formed into 10,000 horses that galloped down. The General of Holy Fire Wei Ronxin slashed with her saber, and flames flowed from the blade as far as the eye could see. One side was fierce heavenly fire, and the other was surging seawater, simply an amazing sight. The 2 supercluster cultivators and 2 top-quality water and fire star generals among the earthly stars, Su Xing and Hun Yangzi completely were suppressed, completely incapable going to attack, and Guan Ying was even more aloof. She merely evaded attacks, without the slightest intention of taking action. Anyway it was put, as she was someone else's star general, to aid another star master was too contrary to her loyalty as the brave star. As expected of the water and fire twin generals. Su Xing praised. But comparing magic energy, Su Xing's side had the Star Maiden of Maiden Mountain that was top-notch in magic energy. The already more or less recovered Gong Sun Huang emerged from the star nest. She sat on Su Xing's shoulder, pointed her pine-brand ancient sword and activated star magic. White clouds filled the sky and turned into a wandering dragon that surprisingly completely blocked their star magic. Leisure Star Dragon in the Clouds Gong Sun Sheng. Sikong Shuha was stunned, hoarsely crying out. Careful! How could the four of us be scared of you? Sikong Dongyo fumed. She formed hand seals, chanted, and released true fire. Sikong Chuha did not dare be careless. She extended a hand and pointed. An ice flame also flew out and battled against Su Xing's purple mansion immortal thunder. Do not be too proud of yourself. Hunyangzi coldly snorted. She whipped her blood-sweat silver hair horse, rushing towards the General of Holy Fire. Gong Sun Huang activated star magic. Just perfect HM. General of Holy Fire Wei Ronxin tightly gripped her phoenix reincarnation saber. Although she was also a magic energy star general, she was somewhat proficient in martial arts. Seeing Hunyangzi unexpectedly advance, she spurred the heavenly flame divine steed to welcome her. Bang bang bang, bang bang bang. A dazzling war immediately was underway in the sky. The blood-sweat silver hair horse and the heavenly flame divine steed followed their master's intentions and sprayed flames and divine light. However, the bright star and the fierce star were infantry. Mounted combat completely restricted their strength. After several exchanges, Hunyangzi suddenly stepped with her legs, flying out like an arrow, slashing her two sabers at Wei Ronxin. Wei Ronxin blew on the flames lining her saber, sending out a fire dragon. The flames scattered, revealing an elegant beauty. The General of Holy Fire changed. She hastily recalled the heavenly flame divine steed and raised her saber to block. Hate transmission. Hu Sanyang's saber stabbed, a pierce that was quick beyond compare. Wei Ronxin was shaken into vomiting blood from the chills on that saber, yet she was unwilling to admit defeat. Her cherry lips parted, and the 5-star Phoenix reincarnation saber's flame was blown outwards. At the same time, half of Hunyangzi's body sustained a heavy blow. The General of Holy Fire staked the last of her strength. A burst of air erupted from both sides of the blade. The two wild fire dragons rapidly scuttled over Hunyangzi's body, making her rigidly stiffen. She was forcefully levitated into the air to burn. Being locked tight by the fire dragons, Hunyangzi was nevertheless calm. The golden wind and morning dew double sabers were in her hands. Suddenly, golden light and green light flashed, emerging like a dazzling dance. The two screaming fire dragons suddenly exploded into chunks of fire in midair. Ha! General of Holy Fire Wei Ronxin changed. This was bad. An absolutely beautiful silhouette flashed by, her wonderful figure more awesome than a dance as it shook apart the flames. She flew over like a bird. Saber light directly blossomed on Wei Ronxin's chest. Dark technique. Flying Star Magpie Dance. The first strike went smoothly. Just as Hunyangzi was about to use her second attack, to slay the enemy in passing, 100 flame-flying swords combined into a dragon that bit over at her, knocking Hunyangzi back. Wei Ronxin's star master Sikong Dongyo snorted. She continuously formed hand seals, and the flying swords blindingly changed into a sword array and simultaneously attacked. Hunyangzi took a step back. She wielded her double sabers, the saber light scattered. All of the flying swords were shaken apart. But at this time, the advantage of a star master and star general together was displayed. The General of Holy Fire Wei Ronxin seized this chance while her master was entangled with Hunyangzi. She rushed over, the Phoenix reincarnation saber slashing a scorching hot red light. That saber light was extremely fast. But it was fleeting. Even Hunyangzi had no way to evade. The attack struck her in the chest, and her heart seemed to be aflame. A scorching pain made the bright star's body sluggish, nearly releasing the double sabers. Dark technique. Burning heartbreak. Die. Wei Ronxin was about to succeed with one stroke, again parting her cherry lips. Hunyangzi's figure was like an illusion, using light smoke dance steps, immediately disappearing from Wei Ronxin's eyes. Suddenly, there was the sound of a breath. Wei Ronxin's heavenly fire burned, yet there was a red lasso. Ha! Wei Ronxin was greatly surprised. The red lasso seemed alive as it seized Wei Ronxin's wrist. With a pull, the General of Holy Fire's attack stance completely collapsed. The bright star was like a goddess. In the next second, her absolutely beautiful figure already landed in front of Wei Ronxin. Her expression was cold and detached as before. Her face did not show the slightest pain or stagnation from suffering the effects of burning heartbreak. Impossible. Wei Ronxin hastily blocked. Hunyangzi instantly slashed. Golden wind swayed. Wei Ronxin caught it. However, this time, only then did Hunyangzi's attack begin. Hate transmission. All of her power gathered to a single point, and a strength like a drill instantly penetrated through Wei Ronxin's Phoenix reincarnation saber. Wei Ronxin was shocked and pushed back. This time, it was Hunyangzi's turn to counterattack. A white light once again brushed past. Incredible! Wei Ronxin blocked, flames surging. It was just like she was defending against a death god's weapon. With the clanging sounds of metal, the two of them successively brushed past. But just at the moment the two brushed shoulders, Hunyangzi suddenly spun around with a beautiful dance step. This feeling is endless lasso restricted the General of Holy Fire's actions. The other saber slashed horizontally. Wei Ronxin was gloomy. She could only put all her strength into defending. She urged on the 5-star destined weapon to break off the lasso. Then, she retreated under the cover of Sikong Dangyo. When both sides disengaged, Wei Ronxin's chest was soaked in blood. Does it hurt? Hunyangzi coldly gazed at Wei Ronxin. Wei Ronxin sneered, not caring at all. A scarlet saber light once again flew straight for Hunyangzi's chest. Burning heartbreak. I want to see how many times you can defend. Wei Ronxin sneered. Other than the instant the burning heartbreak launched its attack, all of her remaining strength would bring painful, burning heat. Most of the time, it could obstruct a martial general's performance. But what she did not expect was that just as the burning heartbreak's scarlet saber light was about to touch Hunyangzi, an earth book suddenly opened. Dense mist rose, directly blocking this saber light. However, a 5-star dark technique was still powerful. A hole was ripped into the earth book's defenses. But it was enough. Hunyangzi pursed her lips, and her figure swayed. A moonlight-like afterimage was left behind. Without a sound, a strength that was powerful to the extreme had already drawn near Wei Ronxin. A light flashed in her eyes. The saber suddenly rose to protect her front. Hunyangzi's speed and power were far greater than she had imagined. Wei Ronxin's chance had already vanished, and the flames around her body wildly flowed, attempting to use fire to block. Bang! Flying star magpie dance. Approaching like a magpie passing by the Milky Way, the double sabers became shadows. When that power made contact, in that instant, two enormous forces immediately made a brief intersection on Wei Ronxin's body. Hunyangzi once again attacked. The tip of her sword stabbed towards Wei Ronxin. As Wei Ronxin had anticipated, bright star Hunyangzi's swordsmanship honestly was too fantastical. She basically had no way to defend. This is bad. Wei Ronxin completely did not expect that Hunyangzi could still execute such a swift attack, and this attack's power had a sort of strangeness, as if she was being eyed by a death god. Immediately, the cold tip slithered past her body like a viper. The strength her body had accumulated was drained without a trace in an instant. Her footsteps staggered, and her entire person already continuously stepped 100 paces back, as if she was drunk. On her chest, there were left several blade wounds. Her figure greatly swayed. Wei Ronxin stood unsteadily and with great difficulty. Her expression was already extremely astonished, those limpid eyes endlessly twinkling. With a muted grunt, a clear line of blood already flowed from the corner of her mouth. Such incredible strength! Let alone that Hunyangzi had completely suppressed Wei Ronxin. Su Xing and Gongsun Huang also had the advantage facing the General of Sacred Water and Sikong Chuha for the time being. Gongsun Huang's star magic was unmatched. The General of Sacred Water could only ward her attacks off with great difficulty. Seizing the chance while they dueled in star magic, Su Xing already relied on that powerful battle doctrine innate skill, roaming like a dragon, directly advancing. Sikong Chuha's hand carried a crystalline spear and moved forth. As the Star Master of a magic energy star general, she would have outstanding performance mostly in close-quarters battle. Su Xing was not surprised she would rush over. Shackles of water suddenly locked up Su Xing's arms and legs. Then, Sikong Chuha's figure instantly was in front of the bound Su Xing's eyes. This ice sister of the ice and fire twins slashed her spear with practically no hesitation, cutting apart her target amidst a shattering sound. But that was only a shadow. Nicely done. Su Xing appeared from behind her, slashing downwards with the heaven-tearing sword he brandished in his hand. Sikong Chuha's reactions were extremely quick. She spun around and deflected with the spear's blade, drawing a firelight at the same time countless ice swords fell from the sky. Su Xing once again disappeared from beneath Sikong Chuha's attack. However, the next time he reappeared, Sikong Chuha already had safeguards. Could your distinguished self be that purple thunder monster? Sikong Chuha wrinkled her brow, having seen Su Xing launch purple thunder. Try and find out. Purple thunder wrapping heaven and the heaven-suppressing stillness palm clashed with the magics of the water and earth flying about. Sikong Chuha's brows tightly locked, discerning with a glance that these two powers were out of the ordinary. Knowing that she was standing on a landmine, Sikong Chuha's expression was even more grim. She took action without any carelessness. She struck hand seals, and the 100 crystalline flying swords spun about, attacking endlessly, like a blooming lotus flower. The flickering flames of Su Xing and Sikong Chuha's flying swords clashing appeared and then disappeared, one after another. Su Xing's dominance in close quarters was far from something Sikong Chuha could compare to. For the first time, Sikong Chuha faced a foe she was incapable of winning against, and this made Sikong Chuha quite flabbergasted. Snow Woman Lantern. 24. Sikong Chuha suddenly pointed. In her hand appeared a white palace lantern. The white lantern dimmed, and then countless white lights flew out, instantly assembling in front of Su Xing. A scene of ice and snow appeared in Su Xing's surroundings. The white palace lantern's light was increasingly glaring. Sikong Chuha was under the lantern, her whole body looked brand new, making Su Xing recall the icy heroic air Lin Yingmei had in a snowstorm. Sikong Chuha thrust forward the icy spear that burned with a flame seemingly of frost. The way the fire burned seemed extremely abnormal, like the flapping wings of a bird. This is... Su Xing immediately recognized what Sikong Chuha was doing. Frost won 9 firmaments. 25. Sikong Chuha lowly shouted and slashed a surging frost flame from the body of her spear. Su Xing's line of sight was immediately enveloped by the flames that were capable of burning even the sky. This rendered him unable to flee, even if he wanted to. Sikong Chuha's spear was clearly soul-imbued, transforming into a frost-won divine bird that flew out of the 9 firmaments. The flame's range was very wide, and after it launched itself towards its target, it would burn the entire space, leaving its foe with no place to hide. Furthermore, because this was the flame of a divine bird produced by a divine spear, normal defensive strength was completely incapable of blocking. Sikong Chuha slightly panted, for this attack wasted much of her strength. The icy flames slowly dispersed, and when she saw her opponent, Sikong Chuha's brow was locked even tighter. Su Xing appeared and scathed among the flames, completely without trace of harm. An earth book opened up in front of Su Xing, gushing forth a scathing earth chi. That earthly fire wrapped his whole body, and even the frost fire was unable to break through. What is this magic weapon? Sikong Chuha drew in a sharp breath. What is that magic weapon of yours? Sikong Chuha had never seen the earth book to her recollection. What say you? It was Su Xing's turn to attack. Could that be a psychic communication earth book? Sikong Chuha sneered. The girl was very smart, and she very quickly deduced what it was. Although the earth book was powerful, it was extremely taxing on his magic energy. Su Xing felt he could not sustain it. At this time, he sensed that Hun Yangzi was in danger. He promptly sent out the earth book at the same time, and then he resolutely blitzkrieged an assault on Sikong Chuha. Bang! A powerful aggression rushed right for her, making the girl's face change. Chuha! The Shanmenger being suppressed by Gong Sun Huang saw her master was in danger. Disregarding everything, she charged over. She thrust her flying shower falling star spear, and the water flow in the air immediately formed a beautiful design. The spear in her hand seemed to become an ice-cold line. Time flows like water. Shanmenger interrupted, ice-cold. The girl's hands waved the spear's ice-blue light strangely shooting back and forth in the air with a degree that defied imagination. Even Su Xing could only use the word dazzling to describe this kind of degree. Even though Su Xing already made very careful preparations, when Shanmenger used time flows like water with this type of resolution and strength, he knew that there was already nothing he could do quickly in this star duel between star masters. Time flows like water's light instantly pierced through the air. That kind of speed was alarming. Not only for Su Xing, but also Hunyangzi and even the spectating Guan Ying were affected. Within a range of several li, that flowing light attacked with inconceivable speed, completely indefensible. Su Xing, Hunyangzi, and Gong Sun Huang all retreated, and the Earth Book flipped open. Even that tyrannical Earth Book's defenses also destroyed each and every attack of the time flows like water. In the blink of an eye, at least 1,000 powerful strikes came over, weaving a net that filled the sky. Voila! 26. The cloak on Guan Ying's shredded. Countless sword lights attacked. Shanmenger Sikong Chuha at this time used resonance. When she used time flows like water again, Guan Ying already was unable to use her bare hands to block. The brave star mounted the Guanghan red hair. Chased in the air by the spear light, her speed was quick to the extreme. Guanghan red hair? She is brave star great blade Guansheng. Sikong Chuha said in astonishment. What he's great saint star killer. But how does he have 3-star generals? Sikong Dangyo was shaken. Run away quickly. Sikong Chuha immediately said. The generals of holy fire and sacred water formed wide walls of flame and ocean. Then, they each mounted their own divine steeds, immediately fleeing on horseback, not at all wishing to continue the fight. By the time the attack completely vanished, Su Xing already was unable to chase, even if he wanted to. Little Huang, Nyangzi, are you okay? Su Xing asked. The two girls shook their heads. The general of sacred water and the general of holy fire. Su Xing murmured. The coordination between these two sisters was actually tacit. Shaking his head, he did not continue thinking of this. Guan Ying, your identity was exposed. We'd better quickly make haste for the 9 hells. As we should have already been. Guan Ying was expressionless. Rising Dragon City. Only when the Sikong sisters fled to the city did they stop. Even if it was a star duel, they presumed their counterpart would not dare be unbridled inside the city. He was Great Saint Star Killer, the #1 star master of the Black Turtle territory? Sikong Dangyo was unreconciled. Perhaps he is not. Sikong Chuha shook her head. The 3 girls were perplexed. After the star duel, Guanxing did not move a finger, and Great Saint Star Killer cannot use Purple Thunder. Sikong Chuha said, but indeed only the brave star was capable of controlling the Guanghan red hair. Could it be that Guanxing has some matters that she would sneak away from her master? Shanmenger was bright, vaguely feeling things were mysterious. 9 tattooed dragons and the 3 Ruans have enmity for Guanxing. Since we cannot defeat the opponent, then we can exploit this opportunity. Sikong Chuha thought, already with a countermeasure. We all listened to elder sister. The 3 girls nodded in tacit understanding. The 9 Dragons' Sea's edge had a black sea. This sea had neither wind nor waves, a frightening deathly stillness. At first glance, it was like a deep black abyss. Thus, this sea was named the Endless Abyss. On the Endless Abyss was an islet, and there was a narrow mountain range. This chain had a giant ravine that emitted a fiendish chi. Its name was 9 Hells. At this time, there was a man and woman in the sky above the 9 Hells. Great Saint Starkiller's worried brows were deeply locked. He stared at the boundless everywhere, at this Nine Hells island that was quieter than a tomb. He did not know why his heart had an indescribable discomfort. This irritated Great Saint Starkiller to no end because ever since he realized that Guan Ying had ran away to remove the 9 Nether Devil Star, they had arrived even more quickly from Devil Star Palace's Taboo Hall via teleportation array to wait for their rabbit. Everything seemed to have been anticipated. The other woman wore a black palace dress. A netherworld death butterfly fluttered on her finger. Seeing Great Saint Starkiller's worry, a mocking grin flashed across her face. Great Saint Starkiller, your relationship with Guan Ying is normally so good. I never thought that at the most critical time that she would surprisingly betray you. Inger is only temporarily confused. Great Saint Starkiller's expression was not at all sightly. I sure hope so. Ming Dai sneered. Her finger pointed, and a black banner flew out. Seeing that black banner, Great Saint Starkiller's expression became gloomy. If Guan Sheng has betrayed you, then you should know what to do. Back to our other topic, I am still honestly curious as to how you and the Brave Star signed a contract. Ming Dai thoughtfully asked. Guan Ying, how did you sign a contract with Great Saint Starkiller? Su Xing curiously asked. To narrate the story of Guan Ying and Great Saint Starkiller's contract was a bit long. To summarize, her reply perhaps would be best left with this disappointing sentence. He had sufficient ability to become this general's star master. 2. On this point, Su Xing actually had the same feeling. Great Saint Starkiller was at supercluster peak. Across all of Liangshan continent, he was generally considered the best. Su Xing himself had contracted 10 star generals and was only supercluster middle stage. By sufficient ability, you must mean the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone? Hunyangzi's knuckles were white. Guan Ying lowered her head, not uttering a word. However, now that you've gone and touched the Devil Star Stone, what's the explanation you'll give after you go back? Su Xing asked her. Your Highness, you naturally will have to make allowances for this general's kindness. Guan Ying calmly said. Since this was the case, Su Xing said nothing more. Just as they caught sight of the endless abyss, at this time, their 3 escape lights halted. 2 demon beasts appeared on the ocean, and on the demon beasts stood 2 women. They were Sword Star Wan Jiner and Defeat Star Wan Mayer. The 2 had waited for a long time, and seeing Su Xing and Guan Ying appear, Wan Jiner sneered. Wan Mayer put down the picture book in her hand, and then a Dragon King dagger appeared. Guan Ying, you would unexpectedly elope with a man? This is the famous and renowned Brave Star Great Blade Guan Sheng of unmatched loyalty? The chief of the 5 Tiger Generals? Wan Jiner laughed aloud. She pointed her unstably drifting green rainbow. She then looked at Su Xing. You truly have good tricks as a man, to surprisingly be able to fool around with Guan Ying. Could it because you 2 took a married couple's bath together last time? Wan Shower quiet. Hunyangzi coldly rebuked. Fort Master Wan, we are helping Guan Ying this time to go help her destroy the Devil Star, to set your little sister's soul free and return it to Maiden Mountain. Don't tell me you'd stop us? Su Xing's tone sunk. Do you think I am like Guan Ying, that I would believe the words of a Star Master? Wan Jiner disdainfully sneered. Wan Jiner, this Nyangzi wants to kill Guan Sheng even more than you do, but for the sake of Wang Ying, this Nyangzi can guarantee that dear husband's words are absolutely true. Hunyangzi showed grief. Wan Jiner smiled. And so what if they are true? Now that Guan Ying is weak is precisely a good opportunity. Why would I miss this chance? Don't tell me you'd rather allow your own little sister become a devil star forged into that weapon? Su Xing asked. Elder sister. Wan Mayer softly said. Wan Jiner nodded. She shouted. Stupid, the Devil Star Palace has long already been waiting for you at the 9 Hells. You think you can violate the orders of your Great Saint Starkiller? That a Star Master like you does not seize the chance to kill Guan Ying, yet would actually help her remove the Devil Star, is truly ridiculous to the extreme. Enough of the chatter. Guan Sheng, give your life. Wan Jiner furiously shouted. 1,000 flying swords chaotically descended without another word. Her Star Beast Blue Waves underworld quail held a shield and sword in its hands, standing on the water. When Ruan Meyer saw her elder sister take action, she could no longer hesitate. Her figure swayed, and then she leapt 100 chi, a Dragon King's thundering roar emerging screaming from the Dragon King dagger. The sea waters parted. Hun Yangzi's double sabers intercepted. 5 stars swirled on the golden wind and morning dew, flickering miserably. Sparks flew everywhere. The Dragon King's thundering roar tore everything to shreds. Hun Yangzi counterattacked. The bright star that had barely entered the matchless realm was like a snake, suddenly flying of the blood-sweat-silver hair horse. She then vanished. Ruan Meyer instinctively retreated backwards. Ruan Meyer saw Hun Yangzi standing at the place where she had been, nonchalantly waving her sabers. Blood from the blade wounds gouged into her shoulders gathered into droplets that fell onto the ground. Rip! Ruan Meyer's chest split apart, revealing a wound that was neither deep nor shallow. Ruan Meyer pointed. The seas raised a stream of water, and at the same time, a ball of water gathered on her wound, instantly healing it. Ruan Meyer, would you rather your own sister be refined into a devil star? Hun Yangzi asked, the droplets of blood evaporating. Great Saint Starkiller will not allow Guansheng to renounce the devil star. Ruan Meyer flung the Dragon King dagger. A water dragon rolled over. It firmly entangled Hun Yangzi. Even more water dragons wrapped around her. Hun Yangzi's figure rushed out, swift beyond compare. Light smoke dance steps circled around to behind Ruan Meyer, and the defeat star stabbed backwards, catching her weapon. Without any sloppy movements, Ruan Meyer's line of sight was not even on Hun Yangzi's body when the Dragon King dagger suddenly attacked with an azure dragon, riding the wind and breaking through the seas, the blade chi tyrannical. Without choice of advancing, Hun Yangzi's double sabers blocked, facing her head-on. Several strands of her hair were severed. Golden wind crumbled. Hun Yangzi leaned her body, and the azure dragon wind blew straight over, shredding the seas as if it was tofu. So it turned out to be this. Hun Yangzi panted. Hun Yangzi's double sabers barely blocked this dark technique, azure dragon breaking eastern wind. Her whole body had been shaken numb, as if her 4 limbs were already paralyzed. After drinking Bai Yutong's worry-free without a care, Hun Yangzi temporarily could not feel the pain, yet she felt her body was stiff. So powerful. Defeat Star Living King Yama made Hun Yangzi not dare lower her guard. Bright Star 10 feet of blue's double sabers trembled, and she was finally able to move. Ruan Meyer could only watch, neither sad nor happy. If you and your master do not want to work with us to kill Guansheng, then today, you will be buried here along with your foe. Are you truly resigned to this? Dear husband's decision, Nyangzi does not have any complaints. But, Ruan Xiaoqi, you can leave your big talk until after you kill Nyangzi. Hun Yangzi smiled and abruptly vanished. Guaning, you go to the 9 hells yourself. I will help you stall them here. Su Xing used the immemorial flying swords to entangle the 1,000 flying swords, turning his head to shout to Guan Ying. Guan Ying straddled the Guanghan red hair. She struggled for a moment, not saying a word, about to crash her way through the 2 Ruans. Thinking of running, Ruan Jiner did not hesitate at all to use curtain flower canopy shadow reversed. The seas manifested hundreds of duckweed. Under Ruan Jiner's divine intent, they simultaneously slammed towards Guan Ying. The edged green rainbow was like a hurricane. The green rainbow shattered, and a horse whinnied. Guanghan red hair charged out of the green duckweed, its hooves thundering. Surprisingly, she completely blocked Ruan Jiner's dark techniques. The blue wave's underworld quail let out an ear-splitting scream. It gripped its large sword and swung downwards. Endless seawater gathered around the blue wave's underworld quail to form an unblockable fury overflowing the heavens that pounced on the Guanghan red hair. Guan Ying's figure flew out. She glanced at the red hair that battled the blue wave's underworld quail, biting her lip. A green light twisted over. Clang! Su Xing intercepted in front of Guan Ying. His hands twisted, flung outwards, and a bowl-sized purple mansion immortal thunder flew out from his palm. After flying directly downwards 100 chi, it abruptly exploded. Millions upon millions of tiny purple thunder meteors soared into the sea. Immediately afterwards, They reflected as a chain. From beneath the sea, the millions of thunderbolts broadside. The purple chi unexpectedly surged upwards, the power several tens of times greater than before, shocking to anyone else watching. A heavenly spirit astral treasure, star opposing mirror, 5, flew around Ruan Jiner's surroundings. The mirror released 1,000 zhang light, unexpectedly suppressing Su Xing's full-power purple mansion immortal thunder. Go! Su Xing spread his divine intent. On one hand, he blocked the 1,000 flying swords, and on the other, he stalled Ruan Jiner, which was very taxing. Many thanks. 2 words burst from the cracks of Guan Ying's teeth. She grabbed the purple brilliant moon-slashing blade and cut her own way through, sweeping away all of Ruan Jiner's obstructions. The azure sea-green duckweed was futile and powerless to the 5-star destined weapon. In the blink of an eye, Guan Ying's figure turned smaller and smaller. Ruan Jiner wanted to give chase, but suddenly, a hurricane paused. Then she heard a phoenix cry. A roaring flame surged. Gong Sun Huang had already emerged, standing atop the new heavenly phoenix. Gong Sun Huang cocked her head, her extraordinarily refined eyes sweeping across everything. The Pinebrand ancient sword again released several star magics to attack Ruan Meyer. Ruan Meyer was forced back. Hunyangzi ducked and swooped down, her double sabers dancing. Bloody wounds quickly bloomed on Ruan Meyer's underdeveloped chest, but before there could be any bigger wounds, Ruan Meyer already healed completely. Both sides were seemingly at the peak of confrontation. The 2 Ruans were unable to break through Su Xing's group of 3. Ruan Jiner's face was unsightly. Star Master, do you not realize you are digging your own grave? The sword star looked at Su Xing, itching to pull him apart and grind his bones. She had never seen such a stupid Star Master, to unexpectedly let go of a chance in front of him to help a star general. Could it be you are so resolved to do this to your little sister? Su Xing was very disappointed. Are you serious? Ruan Jiner was shocked, feeling disbelief. Who would joke about his own wife's matter? Su Xing was deadpan, the 24 flying swords revolving about. Ruan Jiner's 1,000 flying swords swayed with the wind. The sword star hesitated indefinitely. Who San Yang is this you're thinking? Nyangzi is not like you, who would ignore their own sister's soul being smelt into a devil star. Hu San Yang answered. The feelings of sadness and tenderness in her eyes stared. The hurt came from how despicably her sisters had died, the tenderness from the gratitude that Su Xing could help her. Insane. Truly insane. This Star Master truly was fucking bullshit. The 9 hells can remove the devil star, but it can also corrupt Guan Ying even more thoroughly. Do you actually believe this Guan Xing is still that supreme martial general unmatched in loyalty? Ever since she contracted with the Devil Star Palace, she had already fell onto the path of depravity. You surprisingly have faith in her, and Hu San Yang, you unexpectedly even support your master. Corrupt even more thoroughly. Su Xing wrinkled his brow. Just at this moment, an enormous black cloud surged up from the endless abyss's 9 hells, as if it was covering the heavens. Ruan Jiner's face suddenly paled, and her eyes showed unreconciliation. She stowed all of her killing intent, and she very fiercely glared at Su Xing. Now, I will let Great Blade Guan Sheng trample over your ridiculous naivete. The color of blood blossomed. The sound of a breaking dragon thundered. This small island was split into many cracks by the bloodlight. The ocean's waters surged, churning with rolling, bloody waves. Everything revolved around a theme of blood. Blood dragon edge dance? A refined young woman raised the dragon-breaking bloody slaughter saber, displaying her own most beautiful and most powerful aggression. But the opponent did not stagger even a step. That body was extraordinarily heroic, like a god of war descended. Was brave star Great Blade Guaning. Xinzi. 2. A 17 or 18-year-old youth powerlessly knelt on the ground. He could only watch helplessly as the girl futilely struggled. Ranked 94th level star Iron Arm Kai Fu, you are too reckless. Guan Ying had a tone of voice that seemed as if she was chiding her little sister. Her footsteps slightly swayed, and she avoided that bloody saber technique. As that man hung between life and death, the ranked 94th Little Sister level star's imposing aura was full. Guan Ying was somewhat impressed. Blood Dragon Edge Dance. Level star Kai Shinzi was not to be outdone. The dragon-breaking bloody slaughter saber in her hand shrieked. Large shards of saber light were like red needles. Guan Ying's hand gripped her great blade, and she suddenly attacked. The surprise attack's power crushed towards her as it carried the force of 10,000 caddies. Its unstoppable power destroyed the yellow technique she thought had been grand. Ha! Kai Shinzi's face turned pale, and she looked helplessly at the great blade's light. Just at this moment, a shadow intercepted in front of her, acting as a shield. Even Guan Ying did not expect this sudden change. That too weak to even struggle youth had surprisingly charged over. This young man was not a star master. Guan Ying's brow wrinkled, and she promptly stopped. However, the purple brilliant moon-slashing blade's edge and chi were tyrannical. The remaining burst of destruction was sufficient to leave a Stardust stage cultivator in inevitable corpse. Zhu Jing! Kai Shinzi screamed, feeling more frightened of this than her own death. But the blade chi scattered. The youth's whole body was full of injuries, yet he unbelievably survived. Are you mad? Why would you shield me? Kai Shinzi lost all of her keenness and fierceness. Guan Ying sheathed her blade. What is your relationship? She asked. He has nothing to do with me. Kai Shinzi ground her teeth. Guan Ying pursed her lips. Her expression was heavy as iron, capable of sinking one's mood into the powerful pressure of a depth of 10,000 zhang. After a long while, Guan Ying faintly smiled. He is a good master. She turned and left. You will not kill me? Level star Kai Shinzi was astonished. Guan Ying did not even look back. She walked very leisurely, leaving behind a sentence. Grow alongside your master. This general will naturally uprighteously experience little sister's strength in the star duels. Kai Shinzi was at a loss for words. Walking past this island, Guan Ying came to the beachside. She raised her head, and a crimson star already appeared in the sky. Come out then. Guan Ying spoke. A slightly smiling man descended from the sky. He wore a black shirt and black armor, casual and at ease. Supercluster's Star Master? Guan Ying looked at the newcomer, and her eyebrows rose. Hardly a year of the star duels had passed, but there was unexpectedly a Star Master with this kind of cultivation, unmatched by anyone. Guan Sheng, as expected, your name is not in vain, righteous and majestic. The man smiled and cupped hissed. Have you come to die, or have you come to die? Or perhaps you have come to die. Guan Ying's hands cupped some seawater, washing her face. I wish to sign a contract with you. The man said. Why would this general want to sign a contract with you? Guan Ying moistened her throat, staring neither sad nor happy at this man. Ever since she heard from Chai Ling that a top-notch Star Master had appeared in the Black Turtle territory, Guan Ying had come here. This man was clingy and persistent, following her like a shadow. His cultivation was indeed unmatched, but this was not at all able to interest the proud chief of the Fiver Tigers generals. Time after time they clashed. Time after time, she made this man wander the edge of life and death without him cowering back at all. Pretty good determination. It appeared that perhaps he knew in front of the brave star, any timidity or cowardice would naturally be a shameful self-destruct. Today, this farce ought to end. The star duels do no care for good or evil, only life and death. Regardless of good or evil, there is only means of survival. The man slightly smiled. By fair or foul means, this statement only baffles this general. Guan Ying disdainfully curled her lips. Haha. The man smiled. As you say. I also feel that regarding the brave star's words, unscrupulous means are honestly disgraceful. So sign a contract with me. Let us work together, grand and successful, use the brave star's strongest power to crush all of the opponents in these star duels and become an unmatched overlord. The man opened his hand, beckoning as if this generation of star duels was completely in his palm. Guan Ying pensively smiled. Why did you save him just now? Against her blade chi from before, if it was not for this man's intervention, that Zhu Jing would have inevitably died. She was very perplexed. Why would this man save another Star Master? Was this from his sincerity? Or did he have some other plan? He can sign a contract with the level star. Since this is the case, give them a chance. Being upright and frank without regret is even better. The man smiled. Guan Ying nodded, impressed. How about it, Great Blade, are you willing to sign a contract with me? Let us be strong together, to smile proudly in today's Liangshan. Yes, if it is this time, you can live under this general's blade. This general will recognize you as your highness. Guan Ying gripped her blade in one hand, leisurely and freely, yet also exuding a bit of pressure. The man did not dare be careless. Flying swords of starlight emerged. Right, this general true name is Ying, just the one word. What is your name? Guan Ying raised her blade and asked. No name, the Devil Star Palace has previously conferred the title, Great Saint Star Killer. She was dizzy, as if she had fallen into a dream. When she saw Great Saint Star Killer and Ming Dai appear in front of her, Guan Ying reminisced about the scene of that time she signed her contract with Great Saint Star Killer. It was vivid in her mind, meticulously etched in. Powerful teamwork that crushed all opponents. But everything had suddenly began to transform into something very illusionary to the point she thought that was merely a dream. Inge. Great Saint Star Killer tenderly said, Guan Sheng, you have truly made us wait for a while. Since you want the 9 hells, just say so. We wanted to bring you to this place where the Devil Star is born, more urgently than you thought. Ming Dai mockingly enjoyed Guan Ying's seemingly forever unbeatable mask. Today, the brave star would finally fall. Maiden Mountain, can you see this? You are no more than this. The Devil Star Palace can control your Star Maiden as it pleases. Guan Ying's brows twisted. Inge, come back with me. Great Saint Star Killer. I know that everything has been difficult to bear for you, but the star duels are just this way, disregarding good or evil. There is only life and death, did you forget? Your Highness, could it be you have forgotten those words from that time when we said we would be upright and frank? Guan Ying coldly said. Ha 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 ha. Ming Dai laughed maniacally. This is too ridiculous. Is the brave star so funny? Upright and frank? Ming Dai calmed down. Her side-splitting laughter was immediately followed by an extreme gloom. Brave star that has been uprighteously and frankly defeated, are you overdoing your honor? What qualifications do you still have to be upright and frank? As Ming Dai sees it, your appearance is best to be a 1,000-year devil star to sweep across Liangshan. Lady Ming Dai. Great Saint Star Killer was annoyed, his expression respectfully stopping her. Do you feel this is wrong? Great Saint Star Killer? When you have the strength to do so, then you can be upright and frank, then you can be the proudest in the world, but when you are being trampled down, you must understand one fact, you must have stronger power, even if it is unscrupulous. This is the Devil Star Palace's rule. Ming Dai coldly said. Even so, this general will not use the souls of other sisters to forge into her own strength. This general disdains to use this kind of method to differentiate life and death. Instead of this general would rather starfall. Guan Ying shouted. Ming Dai was taken aback, she laughed despicably. If it was not for Great Saint Starkiller's hindrance, Guan Ying long would have wanted to get rid of this arrogant woman. Sensing the killing intent in Guan Ying's heart, Great Saint Starkiller wrinkled his brow. Great Saint Starkiller, you should have heard Guan Ying's words. She would rather starfall than use the Devil Star. This truly is ridiculously upright. Do you know what to do? Ming Dai seemed to be watching a play. She fiddled with a black death butterfly. Guan Ying, could it be you truly want to be so stubbornly wrong? Even if you use the other star generals, so what? They were inherently the enemy. It is obvious that they should become a stepping stone for our ascent. Great Saint Starkiller was indignant. A stepping stone, huh? Guan Ying closed her eyes, mulling over these 3 words. When she opened her eyes again, they were already firm as boulder. Perhaps this general has been manipulated by the Devil's Star? How could such a thing happen? Great Saint Starkiller spoke without much confidence. Just now, he already realized the power of the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone. That absolutely was the nightmare of all Star Maidens. This general understands, but this time, this general is unable to comply with this order, no matter what. Guan Ying was tranquil and calm. She eyed the entrance to the 9 hells. Her figure flashed, and then he charged. Great Saint Starkiller's heart went limp. How could he not know Guan Ying's personality? Even if she had been defeated by that purple thunder monster, there were still enough chances to wrest back the overlordship in the 3 heavenly books and the 7 stars assembly. It could be said that Great Saint Starkiller naturally did not want to separate with Guan Ying, but the Devil Star Palace nevertheless thought differently. As the number 1 Devil Palace of the Black Turtle Territory, having painstakingly nurtured Great Saint Starkiller, any defeat was shame. What Devil Star Palace demanded was overwhelmingly tyrannical power, to not bat an eye even if Star Master and Star General were to become walking corpses. Ming Dai thoughtfully watched Great Saint Starkiller, her eyes somewhat warning him. Great Saint Starkiller grit his teeth. "Inge, come back with me, we can take our time with a decision." His hands formed a hand seal. A black cloud covered towards Guan Ying. Guan Ying spared no effort to brandish her blade. The 5-star destined weapon shattered the black cloud. "Guan Ying, you would become enemies with me?" Great Saint Starkiller's heart chilled. This general wants only to get rid of the Devil Star. Afterwards, she will naturally follow your highness in the star duels. Guan Ying replied. Could it be we cannot go back for now to ponder over this? This general will not comply. I can only force you back into the star nest then. Great Saint Starkiller struck a hand seal. The heavenly cycle-changing holy swords were urged forwards, becoming scattering starlights to trap Guan Ying. Immediately afterwards, he raised a magic weapon, and a black canopy filled the sky. Just when Guan Ying was about to be rolled in, without any warning, green light stirred, completely breaking this black chi. The clear light sprinkled down, making Great Saint Starkiller feel disgusted every time he saw it. Evil suppressing clear light. Great Saint Starkiller raised his head in disbelief. Clear light already shot towards him, and he could only dodge. When he saw the owner of the clear light, Great Saint Starkiller's face was furious. It is you! Purple Thunder Monster. Great Saint Starkiller. Su Xing growled. Guan Ying, you unexpectedly eloped with the Purple Thunder Monster? This is truly too interesting. Ming Dai struck her palm. The death butterfly fluttered, flapping its wings along with her cheerful mood. The air was full of a thick, deathly air. Great Saint Starkiller's face was green. His star general unexpectedly walked as a pair with another man. Let alone Great Saint Starkiller, this was an unerasable shame in any generation of Star Duel. The heavenly cycle-changing holy sword's baleful aura increased, enveloping 9 Hells Island. I say, how could Guan Ying suddenly know that the 9 Hells can remove the Devil Star? It turns out to be the Purple Thunder Monster's interference. Guan Ying, you live off the charity of others. Is this not worthy of the Brave Star's name? Ming Dai's words were very merciless. Guan Ying disdained to explain. Guan Ying, I order you, kill the Purple Thunder Monster. Great Saint Starkiller shouted. His intimidating aura rolled, his jealousy manifesting in his speech. Young master. Guan Ying glanced at Su Xing. Wait until after this general removes the Devil Star, then she will naturally battle against him. You would surprisingly dare. Great Saint Starkiller's whole body shook, and his expression became more malicious than an evil spirit's. Resolution flashed across Guan Ying's eyes. Her honor did not allow her to turn back as she rushed towards the 9 Hells underground cave. Bastard! Great Saint Starkiller furiously roared. The heavenly cycle-changing holy swords released a killing intent that seemed to freeze the world. Great Saint Starkiller, you truly are pitiful. Your star general has unexpectedly betrayed you. Ming Dai fanned the flames, considerably enjoying the Star Master's every sort of despicably shameful performance. "Shut up!" Great Saint Starkiller roared, stunning Ming Dai. This super-void middle-stage cultivator's pupils widened, and her expression immediately became very unsightly. But how could the extremely angered Great Saint Starkiller care about some devil star palace? Those whatever elders were all fucking irrelevant. Seeing Guan Ying unexpectedly betray him for a man that should have been a mortal enemy, Great Saint Starkiller hated Su Xing to the bone. The Boundless Bell, the heavenly cycle-changing holy swords, the 8 Desolates' heavenly demon body were all used without hesitation. Su Xing pointed a finger. The earth book flipped open, and yellow chi wafted, pulling out like a heavenly canopy and completely wrapping them up. The Boundless Bell clanged. This treasure could settle wind, thunder, water, and fire. The knell rang, and the cloud of earthly chi instantly seemed to freeze. Su Xing urged on his magic energy, surprisingly unable to channel energy in. Great Saint Starkiller sneered. His boundless bell could settle heaven and earth and the 5 elements. No matter how powerful this earth book was, in the case he decided to, the cultivator's magic energy was unable to support it. Making a breakthrough was a question of time. The heavenly cycle-changing holy swords manifested starlights that filled the sky. They flashed by. Layer after layer of the soaring yellow earthly chi instantly were destroyed. Su Xing formed another hand seal. The earth book manifested the true Spirit Empress Tuesday. An absolutely beautiful woman leapt out from the book, her sleeves gently waving, her white fingers forming hand seals. The originally frozen earth book yellow chi once again flowed, and the defenses ripped apart by the flying swords stitched back together. True spirit magic weapon? Ming Dai's eyes moved, for she felt astonishment. The number of magic weapons in all of Liangshan continent that manifested true spirits could be counted with fingers. The Star Master before her eyes surprisingly had this level of character. No wonder he could topple the entire Azure Dragon territory. This actually was somewhat advantageous. If she could take this treasure, Ming Dai's eyes showed wild desire, but she immediately recalled that outsiders had no way to refine true spirit magic weapons, unless they possessed strong divinity. However, even if she was to take hold of that earth book, she would be like a tiger that had grown wings. But this was in the middle of a battle between Star Masters. Ming Dai could not easily interfere. As she pondered, Great Saint Starkiller launched increasingly fierce attacks. The boundless bell rang, the sound waves rolled like a surging tide, and the earth book was somewhat unable to withstand. Great Saint Starkiller used the 8 Desolates' heavenly demon body to forcefully tear it apart. A ray of devil chi rolled, and black chi entirely covered the 9 Hell Island. "You truly would betray me for the purple thunder monster?" Great Saint Starkiller was full of ice cold. "This general is not betraying your highness and asks your highness to understand this general." Guan Ying raised the great blade, her expression resolute. "Great Saint Starkiller, could it be you are willing to watch your star general butcher her name, to become a walking corpse in the end?" Su Xing shouted. The Langya flying swords released thousands of rays of light, forming layers of net that covered downwards. "Could it be this is how you view the star general you bound a life and death contract with?" Green light and black light interlocked. Su Xing blocked in front of Great Saint Starkiller and rebuked him. "If it was not for you, how could Inger and I ever have fallen to this stage? How could I, Great Saint Starkiller, ever lose to you?" Great Saint Starkiller was unable to restrain his anger. His hands formed a seal, and the heavenly cycle-changing holy swords revolved into a sword array, another clump of black fire pouncing down like a tiger. Gong Sun Huang was expressionless as she pointed her sword. She broke it in an instant. All for the sake of victory, even if you go beyond your own star general's bottom line? Su Xing was very disappointed. People like you have no qualifications to act as the Star Master of the Brave Star. Hun Yangzi's hatred was like the ocean. Golden wind slashed in front of Great Saint Starkiller, but the 8 Desolates' heavenly demon body endured. Before Great Saint Starkiller could react, a green light suddenly shot over. The yellow chi was torn apart, and the green light drew a trajectory that was quick to the extreme. In a flash, it shot directly towards Great Saint Starkiller's head. Young master! Just as Guan Ying was about to descend into the 9 hells, she saw Great Saint Starkiller suffering. Without thinking, her figure swayed. The green light was cut down by Great Blade, revealing a 4-star plant-like Destian weapon, Azure Sea's Green Duckweed. Ruan Jiner, what are you doing? Su Xing was startled. The 2 Ruans that had rushed over coldly watched over this chaotically unbelievable situation. Azure Sea's Green Duckweed returned to Ruan Jiner's hand. Ruan Jiner's gaze glinted ominously. Without another word, she was about to throw the green duckweed. Gong Sun Huang activated a star magic. Cloud-traveling azure dragon turn. A gentle breeze and white clouds turned into a coiling dragon that obstructed Ruan Jiner's murderous aura. Do you even want to save your little sister? Su Xing shouted. Anyway it was put, Guan Ying was Great Saint Starkiller's star general. To launch a fatal attack against Great Saint Starkiller, Guan Ying would not abandon him in spite of everything. This was the inevitable action of all star maidens who had signed a contract. Are you a star master or not? Ruan Jiner was even more flabbergasted. The current schism between Guan Ying and Great Saint Starkiller was an absolutely golden opportunity. What star master would not kill first and think later? This has nothing to do with star masters. Don't tell me you want to watch your little sister fall eternally into the 9 hells? Do not regret it. Ruan Jiner sneered. At this time, all of Great Saint Starkiller's thoughts were on Guan Ying. Seeing her turn back, his heart softened. Inga. This general has made your highness disappointed, but this general would rather die for justice than live without purpose. This general is not afraid to die. Guan Ying's eyes seemed to fill with a firm spirit, but her words had an even deeper powerlessness and exhaustion. Great Saint Starkiller recalled those words when they signed their contract. An unscrupulous victory was nothing more than an insult to the brave star. What impressive words! Die for justice, not live without purpose. Ming Dai jeered loudly. Wan Sheng, when you entered my devil palace, there was no room to turn back. Die for justice? Such a beautiful thought. This palace is going to enjoy even more watching your demonic nature sweep across Maiden Mountain. Ming Dai coldly reproved, Great Saint Starkiller, what are you still hesitating for? Guan Ying has been lured by the purple thunder monster and unexpectedly abandoned you. She expressed her deepest feelings to this man along their tryst. Could it be you can swallow this level of humiliation that would last for all time? These words made the Great Saint Starkiller who had calmed once again contort, and his heart filled with fury. Great Saint Starkiller, if it wasn't for you living under someone else's roof, how could Guan Ying ever do such a thing? Su Xing coldly laughed. Ruan Jiner added fuel to the fire. Great Saint Starkiller, you are known as the Black Turtle Territory's #1 star master in possession of a top-notch star general, yet you allow someone else to order you about. This is already disgraceful. Guan Ying truly is short-sighted to follow you. Great Saint Starkiller, what are you waiting for? Don't forget that everything you have today was bestowed upon you by this palace. Ming Dai scolded. As matters stand, only by killing this group can you resolve the shame you suffered today. Let these people witness the might of the Devil Star. Great Saint Starkiller struggled for a moment. His eyes instantly became dense. He flew to Ming Dai's side and flipped his left hand. A black flag appeared. This banner's black light curled, and countless tadpole-like characters flew out of the banner. Ming Dai was very pleased with his obedience, and she wore a complacent smile. Guan Ying, although the 9 hells can remove the Devil Star, it can also release the Devil Star. Originally, this palace had prepared to leave this until after the 7 Stars Assembly for you to sweep over Maiden Mountain with the Devil Star, but now it looks like things will have to be early. Guan Ying's expression sunk. There is still enough time to kill Guan Ying. Ruan Jiner's expression changed. She used Azure Sea's Green Duckweed. But Great Saint Starkiller's right hand opened and raised a golden mountain peak. This peak suddenly grew in size, letting out a thick golden light. Each ray of light had the power of 1,000 caddies, squeezing them to the point of suffocating. The thick black clouds, black chi and black light over the 9 hells were crushed to dust under the golden light. Impossible! Golden magnetic divine peak. Luan Jiner's face lost color. Even Ming Dai was surprised. The golden magnetic divine peak was Devil Ancestor Dark Nether's life-cast magic weapon, created using the 5 Spirits Law Heavenly Book's most powerful first magnetic divine light. 2. Ability. Its might flooded the heavens and dashed the earth. Even prehistoric spirit treasures could not compare. In particular was the first magnetic divine light's capability to shake the chi of the world. If a cultivator was to be absorbed by the first magnetic divine light, their powers would be suppressed, suffering serious injury. Go! Great Saint Starkiller's lips moved, and his hand raised the golden magnetic divine peak. The golden magnetic divine peak's golden light unfolded in all directions, becoming a golden ray, but no one could have expected that when Great Saint Starkiller pointed his finger, the golden magnetic divine peak's target was not Su Xing and the others, but astonishingly Ming Dai. Divine wind and magnetic light were released, pressuring Ming Dai's whole body into complete immobility. What are you doing? The color drained from Ming Dai's face. However, she was a super void middle stage cultivator, after all. Caught unprepared by the golden magnetic divine peak, Ming Dai did not panic at all. Her room death butterflies appeared at the same time. A cold, killing intent flashed in Great Saint Starkiller's eyes. The boundless bell rang out at the same time, which dispatched Ming Dai's other powers and magic weapons. Kill her! Great Saint Starkiller shouted. Guan Ying returned to her senses. Her hands gripped her blade, leaping and slashing. You dare kill your own elder! Ming Dai shouted. Powerful supervoid might unexpectedly blocked this golden magnetic divine peak. Following wind brandished with her palm, she struck Great Saint Starkiller in the chest. The 5-star purple brilliant moon slashing blade shredded the death butterflies. But Ming Dai was exceptional to still be able to once again avoid the Azure Dragon slash under this situation. However, today was the day she was destined to fall. Su Xing and the others did not hesitate to make their move. Langya broke apart the Devil Qi protecting Ming Dai's body, and Gong Sun Huang's star magic forced Ming Dai to defend in a fluster. Purple lotus flowers floated over, just like a barrier, blocking off Ming Dai's surroundings. Ming Dai snapped her fingers. Primal chaos ing thunder exploded, suddenly turning the purple lotus flowers into smithereens. Ming Dai's fully pale face shouted, Great Saint Starkiller, you will most inevitably pay the price. Soon after, she incited a protective true chi. Countless death butterflies tightly wrapped together like a shield. Now, you will pay the price. The golden magnetic divine peak smashed out a golden light, and the death butterflies all broke. Su Xing also controlled Langya, releasing clear light that bound Ming Dai's escape paths. Regarding this woman who wanted to play with star generals in the palm of her hand, everyone was already sick of looking at her. Ming Dai, let me help break you. Luan Jiner sneered. The Azure Sea's green duckweed was tossed. A green light wrapped around, and at this time, Guan Ying, Gong Sun Huang and Hunyangzi's triple offensive broke every sort of life-preserving method that Ming Dai had in succession. Ming Dai manifested an escape light to flee, but she had already done so when that green light bound her. Dark technique, duckweed are broken. How could Ming Dai ever have blocked this? She screamed, the green light immediately twisted, and Ming Dai was suddenly cut in two. Ruan Mayer's Dragon King's thundering roar turned her corpse into dust. With this, one of the Devil Star Palace's 4 great law protectors, a super void cultivator, had completely died. Su Xing did not expect that Great Saint Starkiller would suddenly turn traitor. However, thinking carefully, he immediately realized what Great Saint Starkiller was planning. As Guan Sheng's Star Master, Great Saint Starkiller probably did not want to betray her wishes. If they were to remove the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone, then inevitably he would have to first kill Ming Dai. Afterwards, things would perhaps be pinned on him. Your Highness. Guan Ying was quite surprised. Get rid of the Devil Star Stone then. but you will have to thank the purple thunder monster. Great Saint Starkiller had a kind face. All of his hostility and killing intent had vanished. Su Xing narrowed his eyes. Guan Ying's showed delight, and she walked over to Su Xing. No matter what, this general thanks you so much for this. But we will inevitably be enemies in the future. This is only for wife and Tong Tong's sisters. Su Xing replied, aloof. Guan Ying nodded. Su Xing was the most unbelievable star master she had ever seen. Regardless of the aspect, she suddenly somewhat understood why Wu Song and Lin Chong would follow by his side. If she had met this man before she had signed a contract, it was hard to say that she would not be moved by this feeling that was an odd mix of courage and warmth. Though her mood rapidly changed, the brave star's face was still unchanging, extraordinarily mighty. Just as Su Xing was about to speak again, suddenly, Guan Ying's figure moved, and the great blade slashed downwards. Guan Ying's sudden revolt far exceeded everyone's expectations. Hunyangzi was too late to react. The 5-star great blade cut straight from Su Xing's front. Then, golden light appeared. The 12 heaven tearing returned to his side, being jolted. Even if he had used the life-cast flying swords to defend, he still could feel the 5-star great blade's power. He suddenly vomited blood. Guan Ying. Hunyangzi was infuriated, stabbing with her double sabers. Guan Ying retreated several dozen steps back continuously. You would unexpectedly forget favors and violate justice. Hunyangzi was full of irrepressible killing intent. I fear those are Great Saint Starkiller's orders. Su Xing said. Gongsun Huang used her tiny hands to wipe away the blood at the corner of his mouth. Hunyangzi was taken aback. She looked back to Guan Ying. As expected, she discovered the brave star was very out of sorts. Guan Ying's whole body was struggling, the great blade shuddering. The star crest on her forehead constantly flickered. Command enforcement. Hunyangzi very quickly understood where Guan Ying's suffering came from. It seems this great saint has underestimated you. Great Saint Starkiller coldly said. You really are unscrupulous. You knew that Guan Ying would never sneak attack, so you deliberately allowed her to approach me when she was relaxed. Then you used command enforcement to force her to attack me, the sneak attack of a 5-star great blade. Honestly, even the Daluo Golden Immortal would be powerless to return to heaven. Su Xing smiled. From Great Saint Starkiller's sudden revolt to kill Ming Dai, Su Xing knew that other than engaging in détente with Guan Ying, he had some other conspiracy. By the time he allowed Guan Ying to say thanks, he knew Great Saint Starkiller was thinking of using this as a chance for a sneak attack. It was no wonder. Based on the interactions between Su Xing and Guan Ying over the past few days, knowing that Guan Ying was that sort of star general with unrivaled warrior spirit, most people would subconsciously lower their guard. In the case that the 5-star great blade sneak attacked, let alone Su Xing, even a supervoid cultivator would undoubtedly die. But it was a pity that Great Saint Starkiller's meticulous planning had bumped into Su Xing's careful mind. Engaging in this kind of psychological ruse, this practically was wielding a broadsword in the face of Lord Guan. You despicable fuck. Hunyangzi despised him. Despicable is but supreme praise to a disciple of the Devil's Star Palace. Ruan Jiner sneered. However, truly as expected of the Black Turtle Territory's #1 Star Master, to kill your own law protector for the sake of this plan. That Ming Dai woman, this great saint has long wanted to kill her and exploited you all just now. Great Saint Starkiller showed slight disdain. He then pursed his lips tightly at Guan Ying. Guan Ying, you have made this great saint too disappointed. This great saint has used command enforcement. If you had complied, this purple thunder monster would have undoubtedly been down. Could it be you forgot? That you have fallen this low is all because of him. Could it you just cannot have a fair and proper star duel? Guan Ying's determination gathered once again. The brave star's willpower was extremely strong, and even her contractor's command enforcement was without a choice. Fair and proper? He has seduced this great saint star general. Right now, this great saint wants only to use every means possible to torment him as painfully as possible. Pausing, Great Saint Starkiller smiled. Guan Ying, Do you feel that the purple thunder monster is more worthy of your companionship than this great saint? Your Highness, what are you saying? Guan Ying's face paled. These words were undoubtedly unadorned shame. Su Xing did not expect that Great Saint Starkiller would unexpectedly humiliate his own Star General. Great Saint Starkiller, do you still not know? When I tried to assassinate Guan Ying, this man and Guan Ying had but seen each other naked. Now that they are so intimate together, it appears that the brave star has indeed ceased to be faithful. Ruan Jiner very gleefully fanned the flames. As expected, Great Saint Starkiller was unsightly to the extreme. Purple Thunder Monster, since you are so fond of Inga, then you can have this general. When he should have been furious, Great Saint Starkiller instead laughed. The black banner in his left hand flapped. Countless rays of black chi warped and weft, that 9 hells manifested a thick beam of black light, and the entire 9 hells island was wrapped inside a dark night. Demonic clouds rolled, and the black light soared. Guan Ying's pupils shrunk. The 5 devil stars on the destined star weapon purple brilliant moon's slashing blade broke apart. In a split second, a deep, dark gloom shot in all directions from the blade. Wherever it passed, the world darkened, and light became absent. The shattered devil star produced several black rays that bound Guan Ying. Along her armor and fair white skin, spell script circulated about. A layer of black chi crawled up Guan Ying's whole body like vines, the situation dreadful. This is, Su Xing was dumbstruck. The 9 hells can remove the devil star, but it can also release it. This banner is for the purpose of releasing the devil star. Great Saint Starkiller's sneer penetrated this dark space. The released devil star completely engulfed the Star General's consciousness, entering the final stage of becoming just a walking corpse. At Psi time, the Star General would lose all sentience, becoming a killing machine, forever a fallen devil star. You would unexpectedly treat your own Star General in such a way. Su Xing was flabbergasted. That senseless honor should have been abandoned long ago. This great saint is willing to part, and now, Guan Ying belongs to you, ha ha ha. Great Saint Starkiller hysterically laughed. To be able to see the warrior spirit Guan Xing become a deranged devil star, this is also very satisfactory. Ruan Jiner sneered as she retreated. Already, she was without desire for revenge. Su Xing did not hesitate at all. He raised a lantern of colored glass. This lantern's Bodhi kindling ignited with a Buddhist fire. Endless golden light flooded out, and in that light appeared celestial maidens scattering flowers. Heavenly dragons circled around, and the sound of thunder cracked, as if Amitabha was chanting. The incantation lingered, and the immeasurable radiance illuminated the entire dusky world. Spreading across 10,000 zhang, it directly reached the horizon. The eyes of the 5 five-legged golden dragons sprawled on the lantern emitted golden light. They leapt out, and those 5-clawed golden dragons roamed the sky. They directly attacked Great Saint Starkiller, stirring up the world. Great Saint Starkiller and Ruan Jiner were simultaneously shocked. 5 dragons' lantern. How could Great Saint Starkiller have anticipated that the purple thunder monster would surprisingly have such a precious item? But the 5 dragons' lantern in front of him was not exactly the same as what he had heard in legend. Legend said that the 5 dragons' lantern could release 5 golden dragons, but not such a powerful battle formation. That Buddhist unbounded and immeasurable radiance seemed to fill the universe. It illuminated the entire deathly still endless abyss. Great Saint Starkiller's devil cultivation stirred restlessly under the light, unbearably painful. And that mind-piercing Buddhist chanting fought the devil star released Guan Ying even harder. That is Bodhi? Great Saint Starkiller cried out in pain. Not daring to be careless, the boundless bell rang constantly, wave upon wave, clashing with that chanting. Then, Great Saint Starkiller once again used the golden magnetic divine peak. The golden magnetic divine peak instantly became a giant mountain peak, similarly covering the heavens. This mountain was of gold and yellow jade, filled with odd and jagged rocks upon it. The peak was sharp, with countless monstrous scripts flowing all over its body. The peak's bottom was nevertheless level. golden light flashed, like large golden tadpoles swimming about. Besides this mountain was wrapped in a seemingly watery muslin golden light. Compared to the 5 dragons' lanterns' endless radiance, this golden light appeared sinister. The air seemed to distort. This was the golden magnetic divine peak's most powerful ability, first magnetic golden light. A formless pressure enveloped Su Xing, carrying the majesty of 10,000 zhang. The first magnetic golden light was intimidating. The 5-clawed golden dragons that could instantly kill a supervoid cultivator were surprisingly suppressed by the golden light, unable to move. Not only the 5-clawed golden dragons, everyone else was suppressed. They felt unable to muster any strength. However, Su Xing was still fine. With the 5 dragons' lanterns' protection, he could still resist. But this 5 dragons' lantern that was linked to the miraculous Bodhi tree was too incredible. It continuously drained Su Xing's star energy to maintain its burning flame. But Great Saint Starkiller also was similarly suffering. He also used all of his power to release the golden magnetic divine peak, also ringing the boundless bell above his head. His star energy was diminishing extremely quickly. This Black 9 Hells was suppressed by 2 kinds of golden light. From time to time, the world heard the chanting of Buddha, and from time to time, it heard the ring of a bell. From time to time, there was the sound of a rumbling mountain, and from time to time, there was the roar of a golden dragon. The enormous golden magnetic divine peak was wrapped up by the 5 golden dragons. Even the 9 dragons' palace that was 10,000 li away was shaken. All the star generals could only feel the burden of Mount Tai. They could not budge at all. For the first time, even the Gongsun Huang sitting on Su Xing's shoulder showed an uncomfortable expression. Su Xing continuously formed hand seals, imbuing his magic energy into the 5 dragons' lantern, maintaining its flame and the golden dragons. Great Saint Starkiller relied on his supercluster late-stage peak cultivation and the powerful divine mountain created from the first magnetic divine light. A spirit treasure the likes of the boundless bell had the qualifications to laugh proudly at all of Liangshan continent, unafraid of even supervoid cultivators. In his heart, he was shocked that Su Xing surprisingly could withstand it. Just what was the background of this purple thunder monster? The 5-clawed golden dragons looked to the heavens and roared. Their bodies grew hundreds of times in size. The 5 several dozen li-long dragons flew upwards. Their bodies wound around and sturdily wrapped up the giant mountain. Great Saint Starkiller was astounded. He continuously struck hand seals. There was a muffled explosion. The golden light of the golden magnetic divine peak bound by the 5-clawed golden dragons magnified. Space seemed to distort even more. The first magnetic golden light released a limitless pressure, as if the pressure of 10,000 Mount Tai bore down on him. The 5-clawed golden dragons could not sustain it. This giant mountain peak once again spun like a top, and the first magnetic golden light became even more powerful. One of the 5-clawed golden dragons was suddenly ground to dust. Su Xing held back the blood in his throat. Enduring, the endless light surged, eroding the mountain like a heavenly river. The first magnetic golden light also began to weaken. Blood leaked from the corner of Great Saint Starkiller's lips. He had no intention of retreating. The both of them were very clear. The first side to be unable to persist would undoubtedly die. Just at this moment, they suddenly heard a scream of extreme anguish. Su Xing looked, and his heart immediately sank. The one Great Saint Starkiller, on the other hand, showed joy. Guan Ying had finally broken through the suppression of the endless light. Her whole body flowed with black script, staining her whole body in evil darkness. Her pupils were a frightening black. A glance was enough to make people feel as if they fell into ice water, terror-stricken. Brave Star Great Blade Guan Ying. Devil Star released. Liked it? Chai Ling stood at the bow of her boat. The waves undulated, and an eerie gold appeared on the horizon. The sound of burning fire flared up, and a completely red burning whale swam to the side of the boat. On the whale were 2 girls. Zhang Feiyu Xiu, you have come as well? Chai Ling did not even glance at them. Is that in the direction of the endless abyss? Shi Yu said in astonishment. Chai Ling opened her fan, showing that this clearly was the case. Is White Stripe in the waves already fine? Isn't Su Xing careless to unexpectedly want to go with Guan Ying to destroy the Devil Star? This is too unreasonable. Fei Yu, we should hurry over there too. Shi Yu anxiously urged. Zhang Fei Yu nodded. Before they left, she gazed inquisitively at Chai Ling. The noble star little whirlwind in front of her that was positioned outside of the star duels clearly cared very much about Su Xing. This palace has no need to go. He will be fine if he has a plan. Chai Ling smiled charmingly. Zhang Feiyu and Shi Yu said nothing. The burning whale ignited its flame, breaking out a scorching splash of flame on the seas. Only after their figures disappeared did Chai Ling's lovely smile gradually disappear. It was replaced by an indescribable melancholy. Legend says the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone is a stone produced in the 9 Hells that dropped from Star World. The chi of the 9 Hells reportedly can remove the stone, but it can also make the Devil Star become even more terrifying. Chai Ling. A languid and indifferent voice came from above. Chai Ling turned her head back. Kong Ho was currently sitting leisurely on one of the boat's masts. Her hand held wine. She was drunk. Are you truly not worried about the brave star after she turns Devil Star? Kong Ho thoughtfully glanced at her. Brave Star Great Blade Guan Sheng, the head of the 5 Tigers Generals, a cavalry general. Her strength does not lose out to Lu Junyi. She has inherited the reclining moonblade technique of the Saint of War and possesses a uniquely unmatched warrior general spirit among the 108 sisters. Chai Ling did not answer but slowly narrated instead. Each word was as beautiful as a creek. Her innate skill unrivaled has even greater effectiveness when faced with the siege of several star generals. Unrivaled, truly burdensome. Kong Ho drunkenly sighed. Unrivaled. If speaking solely about the martial general spirit of star generals, indeed she was unparalleled, but even the Saint of War generals with godlike might nevertheless lacked contributions across the 8 generations of star duels. They had never even entered the 7 Stars Assembly. Compared to Lu Junyi, Wu Song, and Lin Chong who did not sign contracts, Chief of the 5 Tigers Generals Guan Xing was much more fond of finding a Star Master that could accompany the brave star. And such a Star Master often treated others with an utterly stupefying righteousness. This was not praise at all, but more like mockery. The 7 Stars Assembly of the Star Duels selected the final 7 Star Masters and Star Generals, and at this time, the Star Duels often had powerful alliances, and Guan Sheng's personality was doomed to never do this. Of course, this did not count for much. In fact, top-notch martial generals would do this, but Guan Sheng was even more tragic in that she would often be encumbered by upstanding contractors, an assembly of star generals unable to learn to deceive and cheat one another. It was better that such a way to die was not too common in the star duels, so naturally after martial generals like Lu Junyi, Wu Song, and Lin Chong Starfell, chief of the 5 Tigers Generals Guan Xing inevitably would too. All Star Masters would not put up with the chief of the 5 Tigers Generals ascending Maiden Mountain, and at that time, Star Masters would unite with even more coordination than at any other time. The 9th brave star Guan Ying resolved to change the situation and contracted with the most powerful Star Master of the Devil Star Palace, well known for deceit, but as heaven would have it, this generation was even more tragic than before. Even that legendary Devil Star was about to be born. There was no choice but to sigh. Are you truly unconcerned with the Devil Star? Kong Ho asked again. If the brave star becomes a Devil Star, without Lin Chong or Wu Song at his side, that man named Su Xing is bound to suffer misfortune. Gazing at that golden light on the horizon, Chai Ling's slender phoenix eyes had a rare bit of hurt. This palace believes that she will not become a Devil Star. Why? Kong Ho sipped her wine. Chai Ling's reply was very simple, just 11 words. Each word nevertheless was resounding and powerful, striking one's feelings. Because she is the brave star. Just this and nothing more. When Kong Ho heard, she smiled somewhat drunkenly. Do you trust her this much? Black script endlessly flickered all over Guan Ying's body. The Devil Star seemed to be secured tightly by chains. Immediately, these chains shattered, and Guan Ying's whole body was full of a deep darkness. Her eyes brimmed with the shock that could only appear for one in a nightmare. The Devil Star was released. But Guan Ying did not appear at all willing to be taken in by the Devil Star. She tightly gripped the great blade, her taut body struggling. That indomitable and proud torso seemed to age 100 years, stooped like an old person. She relied on unimaginably tough willpower. The brave star unexpectedly was still persisting to death even under the Devil Star. Great Saint Starkiller's smile immediately froze. His eyes filled with pain, unreconciliation and hate. Purple Thunder Monster. All of his hate exploded on Su Xing. Great Saint Starkiller furiously shouted, pouring all of his magic energy into the golden magnetic divine peak. Devil Chi crisscrossed all over his body, and two terrifying horns unexpectedly grew out of his forehead. The 8 Desolate's heavenly demon body had reached its limit. Great Saint Starkiller spared nothing in order to kill Su Xing. The golden magnetic divine peak was used by Great Saint Starkiller like this. The dark gold light expanded 100-fold. Countless ancient scripts scattered and circulated over the mountain. The world contorted under the first magnetic golden light, reversing heaven and earth, and the boundless bell continuously rang. The golden magnetic divine peak spun without restraint, crushing down. 2 more of the 5-clawed golden dragons were crushed by the golden magnetic divine peak in succession. Su Xing also did not hesitate at all to urge on all of the magic energy his body had. The meditative mind lotus flower blossomed in the air, its brilliance stronger than when it was in the Buddha kingdom, but Great Saint Starkiller's magic weapon divine peak was more powerful than Su Xing thought, especially the first magnetic divine light on the mountain. It oppressed all living things, twisted heaven and earth. If it was not for the 5 dragons lantern containing the Bodhi as a core releasing endless light, he completely would have been unable to block. Is that man a monster? The pupils of the Ruan Jiner to the side shrunk, casting an overwhelmed gaze at Su Xing. Great Saint Starkiller's golden magnetic divine peak was Devil Ancestor Dark Nethers. Transforming star of annihilation level magic weapon, forged with powerful abilities. It was no exaggeration to say that the prehistoric spirit treasures on the spirit ceiling list were lacking in comparison. Add on that Great Saint Starkiller had an additional boundless bell. Once this type of frightening magic weapon combination was used, let alone a supercluster cultivator, even supervoid cultivators would be helpless. But that man surprisingly could make a claim to be equal, and he was merely supercluster middle stage cultivation. This was too unimaginable. This kind of star master had to die. Ruan Jiner's mind fell into a perilous situation. The azure sea's green duckweed in her hand stirred restlessly. Yin and yang suppressed, heaven and earth fortune. Great Saint Starkiller again chanted. The golden magnetic divine peak spun rapidly. The first magnetic divine light's storm rolled, gradually already suppressing the light. Seeing Guan Ying was still struggling against the Devil Star, Great Saint Starkiller was impatient. Gong Sun Huang pointed her sword, attempting to use star magic half-destroyed landscape. The girl was stunned, and blood flowed from the corner of her mouth. The dark technique star magic indeed was used, but this first magnetic divine light was honestly too defiant. It unexpectedly suppressed heaven and earth, and even the world-shocking half-destroyed landscape was like a pebble fallen into the ocean with no response. There was a phoenix cry. The new heavenly phoenix flapped its wings. Its magnificent body slammed towards the golden magnetic divine peak. Su Xing shouted. The Earth Book True Spirit Empress too flew towards the golden magnetic divine peak. Yellow dust rolled, gathering into a boulder that rolled along. Within it was a chaotic thunderclap, powerfully emitting pressure. All directions were left unturned. The two exchanged blows. The sound of thunder drummed against the mountains and rivers. The deathly still endless abyss rumbled, and the entire black-colored seawater churned. An intense impact rang in the sky. A blinding golden light flashed by. The massive golden magnetic divine peak split apart with a rumble, the sound of the impact turning into a golden light that rained down. Great Saint Starkiller violently vomited blood upon receiving this blow. Su Xing also sprayed blood. The two were consuming all of the strength in their bodies, fighting evenly. Su Xing did not have the strength to lift even a finger. Although he had succeeded in destroying Great Saint Starkiller's golden magnetic divine peak, Su Xing had paid an extremely great price. The new heavenly phoenix was heavily injured, the Book of Empress too had lost much of its spiritual power, and the Buddhist light of the Five Dragons lantern had been extinguished. Gong Sun Huang gently waved a hand, and a breeze held Su Xing aloft. Guaning, I order you right now to become the Devil Star. Great Saint Starkiller was drained, yet he staked all of his hatred, squeezing out a bit more energy. The black Devil Star banner in his hand waved. The star crest on his forehead became black, releasing a glaring light. The contractor's compulsion and determination were channeled into Guaning. The brave star's star crest on her forehead glowed. Guaning struggled even more unbearably, casting an even more disappointed expression at Great Saint Starkiller. Your Highness, why, killed Great Saint Starkiller was thoroughly mad, roaring twistedly. Perhaps Guaning was still struggling during her fall into a Devil Star. Great Saint Starkiller had already entered the 9 hells, but the contractor was inherently linked to Star General. By doing so, the brave star suffered even more. Your Highness, what happens now? Gong Sun Huang opened her little mouth, fearfully looking at the blackening Guansheng. The Su Xing with magic energy completely in overdraft formed a hand seal, activating the technique he previously learned from the Tai Sword Sect's ancestor Gui Mu, Wood Essence Nurturing Qi. This technique could maintain a star cultivator's star energy. Pills could hardly compare, and at the most dangerous moment, it could allow a star cultivator to use his final bit of magic energy. Why? Great Saint Starkiller shouted in fury. Great Saint Starkiller, die. Hunyangzi somersaulted, flying high into the air. Golden light and green wind interlocked, like a flying magpie. In the blink of an eye, the double saber's cold light slashed directly towards Great Saint Starkiller's head. Flying Star Magpie Dance. The Great Saint Starkiller, who had already lost all of his drive, used his immemorial flying swords to barely defend. The heavenly cycle-changing holy swords merely were broken by the double sabers in an instant. Just when the flying star magpie dance was about to take Great Saint Starkiller's head, a shadow suddenly flit by, and a black light that was like a sword intercepted the double sabers. Hunyangzi withdrew in shock. The meddler was none other than Great Blade Guaning. Because the current Guaning had rescinded her contract, the Devil Star corrosion was even more ferocious. Her whole body was covered in black markings, full of an unimaginable eeriness. Guansheng. Inge. Great Saint Starkiller showed pleasant surprise, for he had thought Guaning had a change of heart. How could he have anticipated that Guaning would not even look at him? The black chi she scattered carried a sort of repulsive chill. Great Saint Starkiller drew his hand back. This general asks that you leave this place at once. This is this general's final obligation. Guaning said indifferently. Inge. Great Saint Starkiller's throat was hoarse, his heart suffering unbearably. At this time, he seemed to have awoken from his insanity, but to regret now was already too late. Looking at Guanying's cold and detached eyes, he knew the girl whose extraordinary might and fierce might was imprinted in him for his whole life was already gone. Guilt, remorse, pain, countless negative emotions made tears splash across Great Saint Starkiller's face, an exceptionally sorry figure. Even Hunyangzi was shocked to see this. Was this still that renowned and tyrannical #1 Star Master of the Black Turtle Territory, Great Saint Starkiller? A scourge like Great Saint Starkiller must die. Ruan Jeaner sneered. The wind stirred, and she tossed the azure sea's green duckweed, which became a green rainbow that directly twisted for Great Saint Starkiller. Hunyangzi completely lacked a favorable impression of Great Saint Starkiller. Any way it was put, she could not separate his involvement in Wang Ying's death. Do you wish to be buried here alongside this general? Guan Ying's voice was cold enough to emit chills. Great Saint Starkiller hesitated a moment. He grit his teeth, sorrowfully cursed, and in the end, used the outlaw jade pendant. The azure sea's green duckweed struck nothing. Guan Ying, what use is an unjust, heartless, meek coward like you? Ruan Jina repressed her anger. Guan Ying glanced at her. Suddenly, her figure swayed. Ruan Jina's eyes were dazzled. Guan Sheng was already in front of her. The 5 Devil Star purple brilliant moon slashing blade descended, and Ruan Jina became fearful. Flying swords blocked. Star generals fell into a weakened state after rescinding their contracts, but the Devil Star Guan Xing nevertheless was peerless. She drummed up all of her strength, and the Devil Star Guan Xing was exceptionally fierce. Ruan Jina was caught unprepared, and her chest suffered a fierce punch. The great blade beat back the azure sea's green duckweed, and immediately afterwards, the tip was already pressed against Ruan Jina's throat. The color drained from sword star Tai Sui who stands his ground. Let go of elder sister. Ruan Mayer raised the Dragon King dagger. Guan Ying was completely without killing intent. Although she appeared enshrouded in a terrible qi, extremely dreadful, Ruan Jina even making preparations for a starfall, Guan Ying only said calmly, "This general has offended you and asks that the Ruan sisters take their leave first." Ruan Jina's expression slightly changed, and she immediately heard Guan Ying's implication. She shot a complex glance at Su Xing. "Is this man worth your protection?" Guan Xing, "Could it be you betrayed your master only to sign a contract with him?" "Please leave. This general is unable to contain the Devil Star." Guan Xing panted, her tone rough, somewhat in pain. "This general naturally will reach a settlement with him." When Ruan Jina heard, she did not dare delay. If Guan Xing truly lost control, then this certainly would not be worthwhile. Ruan Jina coldly said, Guan Xing, to be unable to kill you is the hatred of my lifetime. You let me off this time, but next time I see you, I still will take your life in honor of Ping. This general will give the sisters an explanation." Guan Ying said. Ruan Jina looked at Ruan Mei. In the end, she left behind a hateful glance and used her own jade pendant to escape. Very quickly, the 9 Hells Island was left only with Su Xing's group. Su Xing naturally knew that Guan Ying's actions were because she worried that he who was already without any strength left would suffer the prying of the 2 Ruans. This was considered the gratitude Guan Ying had for Su Xing accompanying her to the 9 Hells. "Can your Devil Star still be removed?" Su Xing asked her. The 2 little Lolas Gongsun Huang and Bai Yutong supported him from the left and right so that he would not fall onto the ground. Guan Ying shook her head. Su Xing sighed. The Devil Star had already sunk into her quintessence. If she was an ordinary star general, she long would have already lost control and sentience, and it was only a general of such absolute warrior spirit like Guan Ying's that could maintain the last bit of her clarity. However, there was still a limit in the end. Guan Ying becoming the Devil Star was only a matter of time. Hunyangzi tightly gripped the double sabers, with hate and unreconciliation in her eyes. Although Guan Ying's actions made Hunyangzi's impressions change, the hatred she kept from the sister Wang Ying she was to share her life and death with nevertheless did not relax at all. Guan Ying fell onto the ground. The Guanhan red hair also returned at this time. The Guanghan red hair did not cower at all at its mistress' terrifying aura. On the contrary, it affectionately rubbed against her. Guan Ying stroked the Guanghan red hair's long mane. Her forehead flickered with a star crest, reflecting with the horse. It was unknown what she said, but the Guanghan red hair lowered its head and whined. "Hu San Yang, let us now settle life and death." Guan Ying put away the great blade and stood before her. Having already known this, Hunyangzi apathetically drew her sabers. "You will not use the great blade?" Hunyangzi's tone was ice cold. "No need. This general already cannot hold that great blade." Guan Ying said calmly. Bright Star 10 feet of blue nodded, not saying anything. "Dear husband, would you allow Nyangzi to settle this alone?" Hunyangzi turned her head, her tone tender. Su Xing glanced at Guan Ying, only feeling that things were already too far gone. "I will have little Huang help you when needed." Gong Sun Huang slightly nodded. When Hunyangzi knew that Su Xing cared for her like this, she smiled. She turned her head back to face Guanyin, still with brimming a harsh killing intent. Guanyin, Hunyangzi suddenly yelled. Her figure swayed, and then she suddenly vanished. A golden bright and dazzling saber light hooked around like the wind. Guanying's fist blocked it. The devil star flowed, sharp as a divine weapon. With the clanging of metal, the pair successively clashed. With intense killing intent that seemed substantive, Hunyangzi's pupils flickered with a radiant light. She half-spun, light smoke dance steps. In Guanying's field of vision, there was only a beautiful afterimage left. Soundlessly, a powerful to extreme force already drew near her. Her eyes flickered with a cold light. Guanying's arms suddenly rose to protect her front, and without even dodging, the black aura around her body automatically flowed in a frenzy, defending her front. Bang! The power connected, hate transmission. In an instant, the ice-cold, immense hatred on the double saber's edges made a temporary exchange with Guanying's arms. The saber light suddenly flashed, and a rupturing sound rose. The cold tips were like vipers slithering across her body, and the strength that her body had accumulated was gone without a trace. Guanying staggered backwards, her entire person already retreating several paces. In her surroundings, the surging black aura seemed to have been cut to pieces. Her figure was greatly unsteady. Guanying stood with great difficulty, her firm expression already showed weakness. Those eyes flickered endlessly. With a muted grunt, a clear line of blood quickly flowed from the corner of her mouth. Not bad. Guanying smiled. Her eyes began to stray. Her consciousness was already about to be devoured by the Devil's Star. Her weakened self and refrain from using the 5-star Great Blade meant she virtually had no chance facing the 5-star Golden Wind Morning Dew of Bright Star Hunyangzi. Bring out all of your power. Hunyangzi coldly shouted. This Nyangzi does not need your pity. Guanying's hands lowered. The purple brilliant moon's slashing blade of heavily black qi was already in her hands. This general will bring the most powerful martial force. Just what this Nyangzi wants. Hunyangzi kept astride her, her slow dance steps like a serpent. She suddenly disappeared from Guanying's eyes. A dazzling golden light that was like a winter sun splendidly glowed, its radiance blossoming. Bang! The double sabers and great blade crisscrossed, bursting forth with powerful sparks. An intense explosion sound. Hunyangzi retreated, the 5-star Golden Wind and Morning Dew showing difficulty matching the Devil's Star. Little sister, come receive the lifetime of battle experience of this general. In the instant Guanying attacked, the black qi storm devastating the island instantly vanished without a trace. Not only this, all of the drifting fragments and dust were simultaneously pressed onto the ground by a sort of incorporeal force. The entire space suddenly returned to clarity. Hunyangzi was astonished. She looked at the blade's edge that was against her stomach, evading at the last moment with light smoke dance steps. While her body was still in midair, Hunyangzi hovered, and with a shout she spat out, Flying Star Magpie Dance. The double sabers became a bird, its wings a combined attack. The response to Hunyangzi was a weak laugh. Guanying raised her blade. The black blade light immediately changed shape on the ground into something resembling a catch that pounced towards Hunyangzi. Endless black qi rolled in all directions, filling ruthlessly. Hunyangzi's thinking was also matchlessly swift. Although those black blade lights were frightening, it was not at all invulnerable. The bright star's double sabers circled, rolling a golden wind and a rain of dew that immediately twisted. Then it broke. More than a dozen wounds deep enough to show bone appeared on her body. Hunyangzi flew quick as a butterfly flitting through flowers. She directly arrived at Guanying's flank, wielding a blade that contained ample anger. Not enough. Guanying was like an instructor, using a chiding tone. Her left fist struck Hunyangzi. Hunyangzi vomited blood and took 100 steps back. A matchless martial general ought to be even faster than her opponent. Guanying practically did not pause. Unrivaled's imposing aura suddenly exploded, and taking a step forward, she was faster. The great blade spun, striking Hunyangzi with the back of the blade. As expected of the chief of the 5 tigers, even when she was so weak, her devil transformation state still was bold and powerful. Wife. Su Xing already began to worry. Hunyangzi once again clashed with Guanyin. The double sabers danced, creating a brilliant radiance. Blade chi flowed in all directions, wrapping up Guanyin, yet Guanyin was also domineering and fierce. Every step she took was not as splendid as bright star Husanyang's, yet they were invincible as boulders. The heavy great blade appeared quicker than the double sabers. Many times, Hunyangzi was surrounded by peril. Gradually, Su Xing noticed that in Hunyangzi and Guanying's matchless battle to the death, Guanying did not have that sort of feeling of, you die, I live. On the contrary, she seemed to be imparting her own martial arts, allowing Hunyangzi to personally receive them. Her words were full of teachings that made Hunyangzi resentful. Guanying's expression was increasingly distracted, and her attacks were increasingly sluggish. The powerful devil star already made the brave star lose her edge. She wants to die? Su Xing suddenly perceived. And at this moment, Hunyangzi just happened to use these feelings are endless lasso's yellow technique, red string. The lasso wrapped around Guanying's wrist that held the great blade, making the brave star wide open, yet Guanying on the contrary smiled at this moment. The great blade in her hand disappeared. Raising her head, she carried the brave star's last matchless, welcoming the golden wind and morning dew double saber's final twist. Liked it? Her hatred stopped, and the double sabers froze. You! Seeing that the target of her revenge that she sought after day and night was in front of her, Hunyangzi contrarily could not finish it. This was not right at all. Revenge should not be like this. This was completely different from what she had imagined. This general cannot last much longer. Finish it. But it is regretful that this general is helpless for the devil stars formed from the sisters. Guanying heavily panted. Her eyes were increasingly hazy, already practically about to lose focus, beginning to empty. Hunyangzi knew that Guanying's bottom line was already this. In the event she was controlled by the devil star, Guanying would only become a killing machine. Rather than this, Guanying would rather die under the blade of a sister, to recompense her hatred. If you contract, can you be saved? Hunyangzi's tone wavered. Guanying glanced at Su Xing. In the end, she smiled, he perhaps truly can change the star duels, the fate of our sisters, but he is already incapable of changing this general's fate. Elder sister, this Nyangzi shall see you once more at Maiden Mountain. Understanding Guanying's resolve, Hunyangzi took a deep breath. The hatred in her heart vanished like smoke into thin air. She carefully raised her double sabers in deference and the highest etiquette to the ranked 5th chief of the 5 tigers brave star great blade Guansheng. Her hands were raised high. Strength gathered like lotuses, and Hunyangzi's sabers were about to swing down. Guanying closed her eyes and sighed so softly that none could hear. She wondered if she sighed for being always unable to change the brave star's tragic fate, or if she was regretting that she did not meet Su Xing before Great Saint Starkiller. Just when the double sabers were about to fall, at this moment, a ray of resplendent Buddhist light penetrated the black chi lingering around the 9 hells. The golden light fell from the heavens, immediately making Hunyangzi stop midway. Su Xing and the rest raised their heads. Finally, a mighty, domineering presence, a woman who was like a god of war descended from the heavens. Her whole body twinkled with golden light, and every detail of her body flowed with power. 1000 Buddha Star Chao Gai. Chao Gai, you finally came. Su Xing sighed. Chao Gai's brow furrowed. Why did it sound as if she had come to put out the fire? Pursing her lips, Chao Gai swept wordlessly across Hunyangzi and Bai Yutong. Chao Gai! Hunyangzi and the others were shocked. Brave star Great Blade Guanying has been trapped by the Devil Star, and the divine weapon in her hand has been cast with the souls of Maiden Mountain sisters. This one cannot abide. There is need to dispel the Devil Star and allow the souls of the Star Generals to return to Maiden Mountain. This one now asks you, Su Xing, Are you willing to turn Guan Ying over to this one to handle? Of course, if you hand her over to this one, the brave star's starfall power and 5-star great blade are not obtainable to you. Chao Gai spoke, every word full of an unending Buddhist aura, sounding pleasant and unable to be refused. Su Xing shook his head. This thing is completely for Nyangzi to determine. Nyangzi did not expect that Su Xing would leave this decision to her. She hesitated for a moment, and then she immediately nodded her head. Compared to killing Guan Ying, Nyangzi cared more about being able to save her sisters. Chao Gai was not surprised. If it was any other Star Master, they probably would not give up on the chief of the 5 Tigers' Crimson Star Power and the 5-star Great Blade, even if they were to die. However, as for Su Xing, she knew this man completely could not be assessed with the 3 words Descended Star Cultivator. Brave Star Guan Ying, you are transforming into the Devil Star. Are you willing to withdraw from the star duels and enter this one's pagoda for refinement? Chao Gai asked her. So long as the other little sisters can be saved, this general can sacrifice anything. Guan Ying used the last of her strength to say this. This is even better. Chao Gai waved her hand. The Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow 1000 pagoda flew out. The 9-story pagoda released 9 rays of light, displaying all sorts of gods and Buddhas, the chanting of sutras and Brahmanistic verse. She revealed the pure land of bliss. Compared to the endless light of the 5 dragons' lantern, this Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow 1000 pagoda's Buddhist light was even more awe-inspiring. Guan Ying was sucked in by the 1000 pagoda's Buddhist light. The black qi over her whole body suddenly turned menacing, brandishing claws and fangs, extremely painful. Chao Gai merely scoffed, formed a hand seal, and the Buddhist light glowed brighter, enveloping the Devil Star. Nyangzi watched dumbstruck at Chao Gai's powers. Although she had heard of 1000 Buddha Star Chao Gai's might, she never thought that she was this powerful, suppressing the terrible Devil Star with just one move. Su Xing was just able to see God. Just at this moment, Gong Sun Huang suddenly leaned, pointing her pine-brand ancient sword at the sky. A formless forbid dance opened. Hundreds of flying swords of linked water and fire were completely blocked. The General of Sacred Water and the General of Holy Fire, the Sikong sisters truly can pick their timing. Su Xing turned around, smiling in exhaustion. Sikong Chuha and Sikong Dangyo. Ever since Sikong Chuha and Sikong Dangyo were defeated by Su Xing, they always thought of finding an opportunity to approach the 9 Dragons' Palace. Afterwards, they heard that Shi Jingluan already had several star generals before they dismissed the idea. If they actually went, their foe probably would have already been taken. Afterwards, Sikong Chuha decided to tail Su Xing and see just what he was up to. 3 star generals and 1 star master. Any cultivator would have felt this was fishy. Afterwards, they lost track of Su Xing, but that golden light that illuminated the entire 9 hells naturally drew them over. By the time the baleful aura of the 9 hells completely vanished, only then did the Sikong sisters arrive. Not surprisingly, that Star Master indeed had gone through a battle, unexpectedly without a bit of strength left. The most irascible little sister, Sikong Dangyo, naturally did not want to miss this opportunity. A Star Master without star energy would be unable to replenish the lost star energy of his star general. However, Sikong Dangyo's sneak attack was interfered by Gong Sun Huang before it could start. Killing you while you're sick, ever hear of that? Sikong Dangyo said, unperturbed. Her general of Holy Fire Wei Ranxin gripped the Phoenix Reincarnation Saber and attacked. However, before she attacked, suddenly, the tranquil endless pool's seawater surged with a wave. A water spout shot into the sky. The Sikong sisters were startled. Before the General of Sacred Water and the General of Holy Fire could understand what was happening, a fire dragon rushed out of the ocean. With water on one side and fire on the other, they pressed towards one another. Boatman Zhang Heng, white stripe in the waves Zhang Shun. Sikong Chuha said in bewilderment. A completely red burning whale breached the ocean's surface along with a pale white python. The 2 women on the beasts had a saber that released flame and a ring that conjured white waves. They very easily recognized these 2 star generals. He Hey, we sisters found this one first. Do you want to interfere? General of Holy Fire Wei Ranxin said in annoyance. And so what? Zhang Feiyu chuckled. General of Holy Fire, I Feiyu actually want to see just how powerful your holy fire is. Shi Yu pointed, and flying swords flew up. Sikong Chuha broke them down. She tenderly said, would it not be better for us to unite to kill this Star Master first? He has Gong Sun Huang, and we must not be careless. The bright girl attempted to remind the newcomers that now was not the time to argue amongst themselves. Even if they were to squabble, that would have to wait until the other side's star fell first. For them to first be ruined while they were still in top condition actually would give the others an edge. Sikong Chuha planned well, but how could she have known the relationship between Su Xing and the Zhang sisters? Zhang Feiyu laughed aloud. That's my little sister's husband. Why would I want to kill him? All rivers reach seas. White stripe in the waves. Zhang Yuqi activated the white water mirror heart. The waves were sucked and formed into a powerful vortex. A gale swelled. The Sikong sisters and their star generals each wobbled incessantly. Careful! Shan Menger gripped her spear, raising a wall of mist. Wei Ranxin also held her phoenix saber aloft. A clump of phoenix flames coiled around her body, protecting her like an impenetrable defense. The General of Sacred Water and General of Holy Fire were top-notch magic star generals, particularly in their control of water and fire that was brought to the point of perfection. But this terrain was maritime, which was undoubtedly an even greater advantage to a water general like the white stripe in the waves. The sea waters were stirred, turning into an unstoppable weapon. Gong Sun Huang also gripped her pine-brand ancient sword like a tiger eyeing its prey. The girls looked at each other. From the looks in their eye, their disbelief was obvious. What was this situation? Why would the Zhang sisters help a Star Master? This was too baffling. Could it be they planned to repel them, then become fishermen that claimed the snipe and clam? The thought flashed through their minds. The Sikong sisters naturally knew further fighting would not have any good results. Sikong Dongyo was furious. Elder sister, Sikong Chua inwardly blamed these star generals for being very impulsive. The girl delicately glanced at her younger sister. Sikong Dongyo understood tacitly. The two girls formed a hand seal. A sword appeared over each of their heads. One was white and one was red, one was open and the other was closed. One glittered with indeterminate white light, flicking out sword light like a snowy mountain snake flicking out its tongue. It shimmered endlessly, and at its longest, the light unexpectedly reached 3 zhang. The red sword was similar, its whole body flame-like, limpid and transparent. One of the swords was shaped like a dragon, and the other had a white snake coiled on it. The cold chi was dense, and there was also vermilion seals on the hilts, every sort of script for suppressing demons. The moment they emerged, they showed unordinary might. Yin-yang twin swords? Su Xing recognized these two swords were astonishingly prehistoric spirit treasures from just a glance. This treasure was yin and yang in one body, like the intertwined branch swords, only able to display its use with two people. The yin-yang twin swords were number 11 on the spirit sealing list. However, the twin swords merged together was not so simple as 1 + 1. Furthermore, seeing the Sikong sisters unexpectedly wanted the yin-yang twin swords to handle the encirclement of the Zhang sisters, Su Xing was somewhat impressed that the enemy's thoughts were honestly so vicious. Sikong Chuha was definitely an intelligent girl. Quiet and calm on the outside, fine as hair on the inside, she understood the general situation, knew the basics. She realized that Su Xing could possibly be the strong foe of the star duels, so she knew she could not show mercy. Now that Su Xing's magic energy was completely drained, without even the strength to use the purple star jade pendant, he was practically like a sitting duck. How could Sikong Chuha pass up such a good opportunity? The yin-yang twin swords shot out a white and red sword chi. The sound of thunder and splendid light twisted in the sky. Sparks swirled in the sky, just like fireworks, drawing a dragon and a python to dodge the pincer attack. Gong Sun Huang released star magic, yet it was easily shattered by the twin swords. Look out! Shi Yu and the others shouted. Bright Star Hunyangzi blocked in front of Su Xing, tightly gripping her double sabers to meet it. Her expression did not waver at all. This time, allow Nyangzi to protect dear husband. Hunyangzi's voice was like jewels falling onto a plate, crisp and pleasant to listen to. Thinking of stopping our prehistoric spirit treasure? Sikong Dangyo laughed. The sisters had perfect tacit coordination. This treasure's psychic communication was enough to leave star generals feeling inferior. The two girls struck hand seals. The yin-yang twin swords crisscrossed and fell. Hunyangzi grunted. Her hands rose, and the double sabers fell on nothing. Golden wind and morning dew slashed out two crescents, of magnificent light that struck down the yin-yang twin swords. The light did not stop, flashing by. Before the Sikong party could see clearly, they sensed that radiance breaking towards them. Not only did it destroy the yin-yang twin swords, the water and fire generals were struck into vomiting blood. How is this possible? Sikong Chuha was startled. Looking to Hunyangzi again at this time, she was even more stunning. The bright star's whole body was enshrouded in the radiance of a faint golden light and clear green light. This made the girl appear incomparably illusory, as if her beauty was not of this world. Su Xing felt his whole body well up with limitless warmth. The golden and green lights similarly circulated over her body. As the contractor of the bright star, Su Xing's mind suddenly understood. Heaven-earth dark yellow skill. Everyone was shocked. When autumn's golden wind embraces jade dew. When autumn's golden wind embraces jade dew, the golden and green lights flowed as a pair, lingering about Hunyangzi, making bright star 10 feet of blue appear extremely illusory. Hunyangzi only slashed the air with her double sabers. The golden and green saber chi twisted over, once again repelling the yin-yang twin swords. Surprisingly, it is the heaven-earth dark yellow skill. Sikong Chuha opened her little mouth. She honestly was unable to believe such a legendary star maiden and star master was merely second only to the heaven-rank super moves. Take this. Shi Yu used her illusion reality powers. Zhang Yuqi and Zhang Feiyu also followed up, one wielding fierce flames and the other's white water mirror heart blossomed with bottomless vortices. The water and fire generals also used everything they could to block. Time flows like water. Shan Menger wielded the flying shower falling star spear. An extremely nimble water spear light slithered in the air like a living snake, its speed very quick, dazzling. But before this killing snare could cover them, it was cut apart by golden wind and jade dew. Hunyangzi calmly guarded in front of Su Xing, wielding her blades with calm and ease. Illusory saber chi flashed by, suddenly unstoppable, and the ice and fire sisters could only activate magic weapons to barely resist. Seeing the situation was increasingly deteriorating, Sikong Chuha could only inwardly curse that these Zhang sisters were somewhat unclear about the circumstances. To not kill that feeble star master was enough, but to still unexpectedly allow the enemy star general to comprehend the heaven-earth dark yellow skill, Sikong Chuha was very depressed. Little sister, we are leaving. Sikong Chuha snorted in feigned anger, not daring to tarry. The general of sacred water and the general of holy water did not continue fighting. To face against heavenly star water and fire sisters, they naturally recognized themselves as not being opponents, let alone there was also the bright star that had comprehended the heaven-earth dark yellow skill. Scram then, this wasn't even a warm-up for Big Sister. Zhang Feiyu had the urge to chase. Feiyu, do not pursue. Shi Yu hastily called her back, so as to avoid the impulsive boatman falling into a trap. Hunyangzi's eyes followed their backs until they disappeared. Her heaven-earth dark yellow skill, when autumn's golden wind embraces jade dew, was activated under the condition her contractor was powerless. The golden wind and jade dew double sabers unleashed a green and gold saber chi that wound around herself and Su Xing. For the time being, Hunyangzi was unable to leave from within a certain range of Su Xing. The saber light hid. You all came? Su Xing smiled. Is milord all right? Shi Yu asked, concerned. Su Xing shook his head. Water splashed. Zhang Yuqi jumped right in front of Su Xing like a mermaid. Her fluffy golden twin tails were still dazzling as before, moving like the waves. The girl was all smiles and said, Yuqi rushed over with lots of speed. Are you all right? Su Xing received her influence, and he could not help but relax. The white stripe in the waves winked. She ambiguously spied Su Xing's two lolas. You truly have a lot of luck with women. Saying this, Zhang Yuqi moved close to Su Xing's ear, softly whispering, Little sister bright star who San Yang surprisingly comprehended her heaven-earth dark yellow skill with you. Tell Yuqi, did you make her give you a blowjob? Su Xing did not know whether to laugh or cry. Hearing her tease him like this, he knew that the damaged star in his memory with that damaging tone had truly returned. However, at this time, Su Xing did not have much of a mood to return the compliment. After beating back the water and fire generals, the nine hells again restored its tranquility. Everyone's lines of sight gathered on the heaven-earth dark yellow thousand pagoda of Chao Gai. That Buddhist light that sprinkled down on the nine firmaments made them feel even more pressured. The big sister of Maiden Mountain made every star maiden present curious. Zhang Yuqi shook her head at the devil-transformed Guan Ying. Chao Gai had been continuously using the heaven-earth dark yellow thousand pagoda's Buddhist light to inhibit the devil star and slowly absorb it into the pagoda. The unexpected attack of the water and fire generals naturally had been in her sight, but Chao Gai naturally would not pay close attention to the fight between the star generals and remained unmoved. On the contrary, when she saw Hunyangzi use the heaven-earth dark yellow skill, when autumn's golden wind embraces jade dew, she showed a peculiar expression. Do you have anything you would like to say to Su Xing? Chao Gai saw that Guan Ying's gaze was concentrated on herself, and then she indifferently asked. The brave star was silent. Is that so? Chao Gai thought aloud. Her hand shook, and the heaven-earth dark yellow thousand pagoda's 9 stories of Buddhist light slowly receded. Brave star Great Blade Guan Ying was finally absorbed into the 9th floor of the pagoda. In the sky, a star that seemed obscured by fog slowly vanished, and finally completely dimmed. Brave star. Star duel end. Su Xing watched the renowned brave star Great Blade Guan Ying leave the star duels. He sighed in disappointment and frustration, although she had withdrawn from the star duels. As far as Guan Ying was concerned, this perhaps was not necessarily the best way to be freed. The Buddhist light disappeared. Chao Gai's hands clasped the pagoda, and then she descended to Su Xing's front. Hunyangzi, Zhang Yuqi, Shiyu and the others were incomparably anxious. They feared Chao Gai would make a move against Su Xing. Su Xing cast them a relieved expression. He looked at the godly woman that should have been angry but was not, and he asked, Chao Gai, what'll happen to Guan Ying? She will be refined within the pagoda. Is she dead? Zhang Yuqi was taken aback. This will depend on her own luck. If the devil star can be refined away, that would be for the best. Chao Gai did not explain clearly. However, Su Xing could tell Chao Gai really was not thinking of making things difficult for Guan Ying. Chao Gai fixed her gaze on Su Xing for a moment, and then she raised her head to look at the heaven's supporting pillar, Maiden Mountain. At a distance of hundreds of millions of li away, Maiden Mountain's domineering aura was still majestic. This one asks you one final time. Are you prepared to bear the price of breaking the rules? Chao Gai, Nyangzi will not allow you to harm dear husband. Nyangzi's double sabers unsheathed. The other girls looked as if they were facing a great enemy when they heard this. Su Xing restrained her impulse and faintly said, I'll never go back once I do something. Very good. Chao Gai gave him an expression of praise. A very slight minute curve appeared at the corner of her lips. Evil's smiting hall has ended. You are unable to imagine Maiden Mountain's trials. This one advises you make all haste to call them all back, in order to not leave behind regrets before you die. What are you saying? Hunyangzi's tone was full of cold. Chao Gai smiled. She leapt backwards, dispersed golden light, and her figure seemed to ripple and dissolve into the air. She completely vanished, leaving only a sentence that seemed to care yet not care for them. When you see that Maiden Mountain has a peculiar image, this means that Maiden Mountain's trial for you has begun. Do your best. This one is very curious to what degree you can break the rules of the star duels at the very end. Does Papa know Chao Gai? Bai Yutong pinched the corners of Su Xing's clothes, her eyes wide as she shyly asked. The little lowly's question honestly was what the others wanted to ask. Especially Zhang Feiyu, who very directly asked, "Were you sent by Maiden Mountain? How are you so close to even Chao Gai? This is too unimaginable. I broke the rules. Chao Gai has come to admonish me on behalf of Maiden Mountain." Su Xing shrugged. So Maiden Mountain feels that young Su has contracted too many sisters and wants to test you. Yuqi actually has never heard of this. Zhang Yuqi pursed her lips, feeling quite displeased with Maiden Mountain's methods. Zhang Feiyu gasped, "In that case, Su Xing, since you have contracted so many sisters, not only is it impossible for you to ascend Maiden Mountain, you could even lose your life at any time?" "That's right." Su Xing nodded. "Ah, little sister, don't you want to reconsider?" Zhang Feiyu was very pragmatic. She felt that Su Xing had so many sisters, anyways, for her little sister to contract with him, she felt too wronged. This practically felt like a concubine. "Elder sister." Zhang Yuqi coquettishly glared. Regardless of how extreme Maiden Mountain's trials are for Milord, she will stand at Milord's side. Shiyu said, tender and sincere. Su Xing smiled. He shook his head, not at all hoping for her to do this. Just as they said this, they saw Su Xing's exhaustion and still decided to first return to the immortal's abode. At this time, suddenly, the sky seemed to shake. They lifted their heads to look. Their originally relaxed mood immediately tensed. Not a moment after Chao Gai left, the next moment Maiden Mountain then displayed an abnormality. The heaven-supporting pillar burst forth with a gorgeous rainbow light. Immediately afterwards, a crimson light spewed out. After the crimson light, there was another moment. An orange followed closely behind. Yellow, green, azure, blue, and purple light shot out in succession. Red, orange, yellow, green, azure, blue, purple were 7 colors. When the rainbow lights shot out, it was extremely blinding. However, it disappeared immediately afterwards, dissolving without a trace into the boundless horizon. The advice Chao Gai left honestly was right on time. Su Xing took in a deep breath. Shiyu and the others had grave expressions. The 7 lights that Maiden Mountain spouted were extremely out of the ordinary. Even with this enormous distance, they could still feel their lungs choke. "I'm going back first. I have to forge the earth element flying swords. Shiyu, Yuqi, let's part ways for now." Su Xing said, not wanting to implicate them. "Hey, young Su, can you even forge a flying sword in this shape?" Zhang Yuqi teased him and winked. Since young Su has saved Yuqi, Yuqi naturally cannot leave now. "Yuqi, what your elder sister said is right. We don't even know what Maiden Mountain's trials are. It's too dangerous for you to stick with me." Su Xing gravely said, "Aren't they in danger?" Zhang Yuqi's gaze looked to Bai Yutong and the others. "If I can minimize things, then I naturally will." Su Xing shook his head. "However, young Su has saved Yuqi. Yuqi nevertheless should repay you," Zhang Yuqi bashfully said, somewhat honest, somewhat feigned. Su Xing laughed, actually not minding very much about the damaged star's repayment. "No need. You and I are friends. Something as small as this isn't worth a mention." That's so generous?" Zhang Feiyu chuckled. Zhang Yuqi's cheeks flushed red. She rolled her eyes at Su Xing. Then she showed pearly white teeth and candidly smiled. However, Yuqi certainly does not want to owe young Su a favor. Her fragrance wafted, assaulting him in the face. Before Su Xing could react, Zhang Yuqi suddenly pounced. She spread her arms and clasped Su Xing's chin. Her supple red lips solemnly stuck to his. She tenderly kissed him, like flowing water. This made Bai Yutong curiously widen her eyes. Hunyangzi, fearing the child would be led astray, opened her arms and shielded Bai Yutong's pure gaze. She herself stared at Su Xing and Zhang Yuqi's deep and intimate kiss. Her heart could not help but be moved. A scorching mark appeared on each of their foreheads. In the sky, another crimson star ignited. This kiss ended, and their saliva drew thin as silk. Su Xing's lips were dripping wet. This was the first time he felt a kiss so full of the sea's moisture, as expected of white stripe in the waves. Furthermore, an abundant, ocean-like energy once again bubbled forth throughout Su Xing's whole exhausted body. Zhang Yuqi, you really aren't scared of danger. Su Xing was speechless. Whatever. Aren't the star duels hand in hand with danger? Zhang Yuqi smiled without a care. Su Xing nodded and said nothing more. Liked it? Vermilion Bird Territory, Heavenly Rainbow Mountain. Several days after the ruins, Lin Yingmei and Hua Wanyue came to Vermilion Bird Territory's Five Colors City. A tavern accidentally caught their eye. This inn appeared somewhat dilapidated, and at first glance, it was mediocre, even shabby. Its business was obviously cold and unfrequented. Other than this, the couple on the door actually made people feel impressed. The upper couplet said, windy and curvy, back and forth, flower and leaf, river and mountain, people happy, searching everywhere. The lower couple was year and age, sunset every day, rain and wind, oriole and swallow, wanting coming going, often green and red. 2. The horizontal scroll read, leisure in. 3. This couplet's calligraphy was very fine. The upper verse's characters written gracefully with swiftness that did not lose vigor, and the lower verse characters were like floating clouds, yet like a dragon, written with force. This was extremely impressive, and seeing those characters would make one feel of a deeply impressionable woman. Lin Yingmei and Hua Wanyue looked at each other. Both somewhat curious, they strode into the inn. Though the inn's exterior was deplorable, the inside was spotless and very clean. There were many guests, however, a close inspection showed these were ordinary folk. Occasionally there was the wine drinking and laughter of several cultivators suppressing their presence. What would you two guests like? The innkeeper was an aloof yet mysteriously smiling woman. She wore a light blue pleated skirt that dragged along the ground. Watery lotuses and jasmines faintly bloomed in her sleeves, and her fine black hair was tied up in a loose cloud bun. She leisurely wore a silver sash, and there was a loose black palace belt around her waist. There was a simple flying butterfly silver petal pin stuck in, the light-colored tassels drooping as they wished. In the wind, they rippled around, and there was a spot of cinnabar between her brows. Her posture was graceful and beautiful, calm to the utmost. Was the couplet on the door written by innkeeper? Hua Wanyue said. The upper one was written by my daughter, and the lower one was written by my daughter's little sister, Qingyan. 5. The woman said. Truly good words. My daughter is Su Yixiao. 6. Keeper of the Leisure Inn. Are you two ladies seeking words or a meal? Su Yixiao was like her name. 7. Smiling somewhat mysteriously but not repulsively. We are seeking sisterly sentiments. Hua Wanyue looked at Lin Yingmei. Seeing as how you two ladies have very profound affection, if you are not opposed, you may have my little sister draw a painting of you two ladies as a memento. Su Yixiao slightly smiled. A portrait? Hua Wanyue asked Lin Yingmei. The hero star's face was slightly red. Yingmei, what do you feel? N. Lin Yingmei was not opposed. Then please follow your servant. The three of them came to the second floor of the inn and entered an oddly smelling room. In the room was a young girl currently painting with ink. That young woman's jet black and supple hair was coiled into a beautiful bun, but several strands of stray hair fanned out. She wore a graceful and spiritual light gold embroidered long robe that covered a similarly colored half-transparent muslin dress, dragging along the ground. Star General? Lin Yingmei and Hua Wanyue immediately sensed some familiarity. Su Yixiao cast a glance. Qing, these two ladies have affinity with each other. Elder sister would like to ask little sister to paint a portrait for them as a souvenir. No, we are not like I and I are only friends, close friends, Hu Wanyue flashed with a bit of fluster. Su Yixiao hung her customary mysterious smile and exchanged several words with that Qingyan girl. The latter nodded. You two have a good time, your servant shall go take care of the guests now. Su Yixiao leisurely departed. What are you two elder sisters called? Lin Yingmei. Hua Wanyue. The pair calmly replied. As top-notch star generals, of course they would not play around with those little tricks. Furthermore, Lin Yingmei discerned that the little sister before them was still full of benevolence. What is little sister called? Hua Wanyue asked. My daughter is surnamed Xiao. 9, Qingyan answered. She appeared to be full of vitality, like a lily in the middle of a lake, exquisitely beautiful. So it was like this. Do elder sisters still want your portrait? Xiao Qingyan softly asked. Then, please sit for now, elder sisters. They did not think too much about wanting the painting. When it came time to arrange their posture, Hua Wanyue was truly a bit at a loss. Lin Yingmei was dignified, standing erect like a modeling statue, full of a mighty heroism. Her flourishing heroic air made Xiao Qingyan quite moved. Hua Wanyue thought for a while, and then she stood shoulder to shoulder with Lin Yingmei. The hero star was a beauty, her manners refined, natural and unrestrained. One was heroic, the other elegant. They practically were a match made in heaven. Xiao Qingyan could not help but praise that these two elder sisters truly were a match made in heaven. Hua Wanyue wanted to refute this, but seeing Lin Yingmei was indifferent, she seemed to think of something and then not say anything. Xiao Qingyan rubbed some ink. She extended a hand and scratched the air. A sparkling and beautiful pure black bamboo brush appeared. This brush had 4 twinkling stars, printed with countless symbols circulating upon it. The brush's head was carved in the likeness of a wolf's head. Elder sisters, do you mind if Qingyan uses the life-managing black bamboo wolf brush, 10, to paint the portrait? Xiao Qingyan asked. Please. Xiao Qingyan's expression became sharp when she took up the brush. She scrutinized Lin Yingmei and Hua Wanyue for a moment. Her hand rose and the brush descended. The life-managing black bamboo wolf brush's purple light flowed with her strokes, bold and powerful, roaming about. Each metamorphosed into purple smoke, extremely beautiful. Su Yixiao was outside the door at this moment, paying attention to every movement inside. This mysteriously smiling and graceful woman was precisely Xiao Qingyan's star master. She recognized they were powerful. Before Lin Yingmei and Hua Wanyue entered the room, she had vaguely guessed their identities. The reason why she introduced them to Xiao Qingyan was not at all as a trap or star duel. Although she acted as a star master and should be an enemy of other star generals, Su Yixiao's actions often were as mysterious as her smile. When she heard Lin Yingmei and Hua Wanyue introduce themselves, Su Yixiao was startled, inwardly glad. Immediately afterwards, she saw Xiao Qingyan and the pair chat warmly, and only then did she descend the stairs. Xiao Qingyan's brush moved like a serpent, sketching contours, a rich style. 2 absolutely beautiful images appeared on the paper. Whether Xiao Qingyan was deliberate or not, of the Lin Yingmei and Hua Wanyue in the painting, one was unyielding while the other was gentle. There was a sort of indescribably subtle feeling. The characters were vivid and lifelike, their attire appearing to have been blown by the wind at times, and at others, their skin pressed close together. Honestly, it was extremely true to life, as if they could leap out from the painting. Just as the portrait was about complete. Suddenly, there were frightened yells on the street outside the tavern. The 3 girls' bodies shuddered, abruptly sensing something. Lin Yingmei's expression changed. With a quick step, she opened the window, and her figure disappeared. Hua Wanyue was surprised and immediately followed. On the roof of the tavern, Lin Yingmei's gaze stared at Maiden Mountain on the horizon, her expression full of grimness. Yingmei, what is wrong? Hua Wanyue's brows twisted, and then she gasped. She saw that the stagnant and lifeless Maiden Mountain had shot ray after ray of 7 rainbow lights. This light's activity could be said to be strong, perceivable from even 100 million li away. Strange. Why would Maiden Mountain have such an abnormality? Hua Wanyue was very bewildered. Hua Wanyue, your servant must go back. Lin Yingmei calmly said, an ice cold in her eyes. Go back. Their intimate interactions these past few days made Hua Wanyue forget that the renowned majestic star panther head Lin Chong that was before her had certainly signed the first contract she had in 1,000 years. Ingmei, I do not understand why you would sign a contract. If the two of us united, seeing Lin Ingmei's eyes show an icy expression, Hua Wanyue's heart sighed. She shook her head. I am very curious as to why you would want to sign a contract. Did your counterpart use some despicable means? If this is actually the case, I will endure a torn body and crushed bones to help you. Mentioning Su Xing, Lin Ingmei's gaze immediately filled with tender sentiments that made Hua Wanyue flabbergasted. There was no need for any reply, for Hua Wanyue already knew the answer. Was this still that valiant and formidable majestic star? Hua Wanyue, are you willing to go back together with your servant? Lin Ingmei suddenly thought of something and asked. If you see young master, you will naturally understand. Lin Ingmei faintly said. Hua Wanyue just so happened to have this idea. I gratefully accept your invitation. Just as they were about to leave, Hua Wanyue remembered something and flashed back in. The Xiao Qingyan who was watching Maiden Mountain with Su Yixiao was startled. Elder sister Wanyue. We have matters to attend to that need our immediate return. The portrait needs only a little more to be finished. I fear Ingmei does not have the mind for this portrait. Hua Wanyue was disappointed. Can you hand this painting over to me? I wonder how much I should repay you? Please treat it as little sister's gift to elder sister. I thank you. If there is another opportunity, we shall certainly have you draw the rest. Hua Wanyue gracefully nodded. Although she said this, she left behind an astral stone. The hero star received the painting, her cheeks slightly red. She faintly smiled, then disappeared, leaving behind a warning. Most recently, the White Tiger Territory's star masters have appeared in the Vermilion Bird Territory. Little Sister Literature Star. 11. Please be careful. Xiao Qingyan looked at Su Yixiao in fright. The latter hung a mysterious smile, pensive. She said to Xiao Qingyan, It seems that you have run into two very good elder sisters Qingyan. N. Void Immortal's abode. Su Xing was alone in seclusion inside a sword-forging space. He sat cross-legged within an array. In front of him were 12 pieces of Gen Wu divine iron arranged in a circle. His hand pointed. One piece of Gen Wu divine iron immediately hovered, slowly floating toward Su Xing. Su Xing did not open his eyes. When the flying blade was 3 qi in front of him, it stopped. His hands formed a hand seal, and he spewed purple qi. With a soft bang, the purple star true qi perfectly struck the Gen Wu divine iron, instantly wrapping around it. Su Xing slowly read an incantation. The purple star true qi immediately was even more vigorous. Purple light instantly surged throughout, and the divine iron floating inside began to gradually melt. The expression on Su Xing's face began to turn serious. He stared at this thing without blinking once. Since the Gen Wu divine iron was already refined first by Tang Lianxin, refining it once again had saved a lot of time and resources. Now, the Su Xing who was fighting for every single second honestly was very fortunate. About 2 hours later, that piece of Gen Wu divine iron was already like water. Su Xing flung his sleeve, rolling up a jade case on the floor. He refined spirit sand, life-bound mind flowers, and other materials into the divine iron. A spiritual light manifested, densely crisscrossing. Then, Su Xing started to use sword forging techniques. The approximately 3-inch wide sword embryo slowly took shape. Su Xing struck every kind of hand seal, beginning to carve a sword array, talisman script, cloud marks, and inscriptions. A long while afterwards, that enormous sword already was carved in Su Xing's hand. With a black turtle as its hilt, wrapped in sword marks, when he was carving the sword's name into the hilt, Su Xing pondered. He saw that the cloud marks on the Gen Wu divine iron automatically formed a gorgeous heavenly mountain. He recalled that the Gen Wu divine iron was located in the ocean depths of 10,000 li. Its ocean-suppressing power seemed to shake the heavens, and his heart had a thought. His fingertip roamed. His grand writing style revealed 2 words of talent. Heavenly Abyss. That you're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.